Eric Kendricks coming up.
Watching that Seahawks drive as they're over midfield, 2nd and 8. Russell looks to throw quick, and he gets dropped quick. It's Stephon Tuitt and a couple of other Steelers that get credit for that sack. 2nd sack of the first quarter against Russell Wilson.
Working on yoga and some of those muscle flexibility type exercises as he, at age 35, and told us he wants to play into his 40s. Why not? Watching Brady and Breeze, but as he says, we'll see. Right now the focus is Viking defense. They've sacked him more than any other team. The pitch to Jones, and Aaron Jones is down to the 13.
Well, we finally had something to update you on in the Dallas-Washington game. 3rd and short, and Zeke on the inside handoff, zone read, and it goes for 15 yards. That's the biggest play of the game so far for either team. Zeke wants more. He only had 14 touches last week. He says he's ready for a full load this week after a full week of practice for the boys.
A couple of seasons ago, the Ram offense against the Viking defense, and Zimmer expected a lot of the Ram Sean McVay-style offense from this team today. On 3rd and 4, quick toss, open. Davante Adams goes out of bounds, but it's 1st and goal Packers.
We have a theme developing for the Seattle offense and the Pittsburgh defense. Russell down. He does not have time to throw so far. And Stephon Tuitt, 2nd time we're calling his name on a sack. Steelers are going to force another punt. We are still scoreless in Pittsburgh.
So with a couple of really good corners, you know, what does Mike Zimmer do? Does all of a sudden he start to have Xavier Rhodes travel with Davante Adams even when he goes into the slot?
He has talked about that as an option.
Whiskey.
Rodgers drops to throw. Floats one into the corner. He didn't like what he saw. The coverage was good.
We'll come right back for 2nd and goal in Green Bay after we show you Jimmy Garoppolo from his own end here. Looks to the guy he caught the touchdown with, or threw the touchdown to earlier, Marquise Goodwin, 14-yard pickup. Jimmy G, 57 yards passing and that touchdown, and 7 apiece in Cincinnati.
Receivers career high catches, 111, over 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns. Clearly the best receiver and a favorite target of Aaron Rodgers, and we're seeing that today. You heard a oh from the Viking defense.
Full start. Offense. Number 63. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Corey Linsley.
We're going to be watching this matchup. I mean, the teams and these two players all day long. Jalen Ramsey, DeAndre Hopkins. Number 20 gets the better of him on that one. A little bit of bumping downfield, but the pass goes incomplete. These two faced off head-to-head twice last year in the division. Hop had a good game and a not-so-good game against Jalen Ramsey last year. So far, no catches, and Jalen Ramsey and the defense of the Jags forces a punt. Scoreless in Houston.
Davante Adams is in the backfield. Rodgers the other way for the end zone. Touchdown, Geronimo Allison.
Well, Geronimo Allison right.
Aaron Rodgers with his 2nd touchdown pass of the first quarter, and the 2nd Lambeau leap we've seen, as a game that could determine the early balance of power in the NFC North is going Green Bay's way early on. We hand off full now to the Washington-Dallas game, our first live look, because the Skins are threatening. Adrian Peterson gets the start at running back for Washington.
On 2nd down, here is Peterson on the jump cut. That's his trademark, and he's got a 1st down.
So a couple carries, AP trying to...
Fresh set of downs for Washington. We'll go back there live in a moment. This is how the Skins got the football. Dak Prescott escapes a sack. Ball tipped, ball picked. Monte Nicholson comes up with it for Washington's defense, takes it into Dallas territory. And Dak Prescott, who had a perfect passer rating in week 1, has his first interception of 2019 here in week number 2. So Washington's deep in field goal range, trying to knock on the red zone door. You've got New York inside, Buffalo inside the 10-yard line against New York.
Rolling away, now more pressure, throws on the run. Somehow, Peterson came down with it. That was a high ball.
He's going to keep it. Turn the corner. Looking for the end zone, and he gets to the end zone for the touchdown. Josh Allen all the way.
Yeah, that was a quarterback sweep. They did
the Buffalo Bills this week put on their bulletin board a quote from Pat Shurmur, who said that when Josh Allen was coming into the draft out of Wyoming, that Shurmur thought he, quote-unquote, had a chance to become a starter in the NFL. Did not think Allen was a franchise quarterback. The Bills put it on the bulletin board, and Josh Allen scores the first touchdown for Buffalo in that contest. The penalty was holding against Washington, so first and 20 here.
180. What's that?
Steven Sims Jr. on the jet sweep gets it, and he's dipped out of bounds right around the 35-yard line.
Phillip Rivers got his guys down the field to a 7th down on a screen pass for Kerryon Johnson. Waiting on the extra point for the Lions. It is 7-6 in Detroit.
Watch the eyes of the quarterback. You see Stafford.
So that Lions game has gone to commercial break. I think they missed the extra point. I did not see it live, but the scoreboard still says 7-6. Missed extra point confirmed for the Detroit Lions. Chargers with a 1-point lead.
Who gets back across the original line of scrimmage. It'll be a 3rd down and about 8.
When did Case Keenum become a single-wing tailback? Watch the action here. Fake there on the jet sweep, which they just showed. Then look at the blocking here and here and here to create the opportunity, because he fakes it on the jet sweep, then he hands it back to Steven Sims, hoping that Dallas will jump out on the jet sweep, and a nice little hole opened up to bring up 3rd down.
And we get a timeout. First one called by Washington here with 2:06 to go in this first quarter. And
during the timeout, I got an update on the rematch of Super Bowl 16 and rematch of Super Bowl 23 as well. And the Niners, well-designed screen pass. Where is the Bengals defense? Raheem Mostert goes 39 yards on the touchdown. Second touchdown pass of the first quarter for Jimmy G. It's 14-7 San Francisco. And we've got the Texans and Jags again, just outside the red zone. Deshaun Watson, who turned 24 years old yesterday, goes incomplete. Duke Johnson looked like he was open, but Watson couldn't hear him, couldn't find him. Kaimi Fairbairn comes in for the field goal, splits the sticks from 39. Texans are on the board. Deep shot for Arizona. And Christian Kirk, the young wide receiver from the rookie quarterback, and they want to go quick. Kyler Murray might be finding a groove.
They're going to run a snatch route to be able to snatch that corner right there, and we'll throw the corner behind him. Nice combination. Great throw by Kyler reading out the defense.
Beat the coverage of Marlon Murphy. Now Arizona's in business. David Johnson trying to slip through the right side. Gets down just shy of the 10.
That tempo that the Cardinals are playing at, and speaking with the coach last night, what they're trying to do is play with the tempo a lot like college. They realize the 47-man roster in the NFL, guys get winded. Larry talks about how Detroit, the DBs were winded. You can hear them breathing in the secondary late in the game and then overtime. They're going to try to do the same thing to Baltimore today, Brandon.
Damiere Byrd in motion. They flip it out to Byrd. Down around the 5. continue to see a lot of pre-snap movement from Arizona as expected.
Pre-snap movement and throwing the ball sideline to sideline. They know they can't play this game in the phone booth. That's what Baltimore wants to do. So they talked about throwing the ball on the left sideline, coming back, either running it to the right to keep those big guys moving across the field, hoping it pays dividends after 2 hours.
Faking the handoff. Murray. Nothing. Just gets rid of it. Pressure was coming by Marlon Humphrey. And that'll bring up 4th and 1.
Baltimore got away with the hold on that one. Got to be able to take the points in this situation. The offense struggled all of the first 3 quarters of last week's game. This game is very tight. Baltimore takes a chance close to midfield. You stop them. You got to be able to make them pay. Young team, get some points on the board. First game on the road. Be able to gain back some of that momentum that the Ravens had throughout the first quarter.
Last week, it took them to the 4th quarter to get in the end zone. They only had 2 field goals from Zane Gonzalez in the first 3 quarters. And it's Zane Gonzalez putting him on the board here with 2:18 to go in the first.
All right, both teams on the board at M&T Bank Stadium. Phillip Rivers on 3rd and 3 in Detroit will hold on to it a little too long. A couple Lions converge to drop him, and the Chargers will have to punt it back to Detroit again. The Lions missed their extra point after the Kerryon Johnson touchdown, so 7-6 the score there. Kirk Cousins throwing and running and fumbling. Ball came loose. Yeah, you see the body scramble for it right there, but at the bottom of the pile, Minnesota was able to cover up on the Cousins fumble. So Minnesota retains possession and keeps the first down as well. Let's go live to Lambeau.
The ball's out. He's sacked. And the Packers come up with it. Dean Lowry has the fumble recovery on the sack of Cousins.
One of the big things the Packers defense wanted to do.
Whoa, the Packers defense, which looked really good in the season kickoff game against the Bears, doing some work right now against Minnesota, giving Aaron Rodgers the football back in good shape. Meanwhile, red zone opportunity here for Marcus Mariota and the Titans.
At the line of scrimmage to tackle Henry. Now, this is where they get creative. This is where they got creative last week using Delaney Walker with some really well-done and well-designed plays to free him up.
And Washington's in the red zone simultaneously. Derrick Henry going to go nowhere with that, but the ball's on the ground. Do they call that a fumble? Meanwhile, Adrian Peterson bounces it outside, picks up about 3 or 4 yards, and they say no fumble or a recovered Tennessee fumble there in Nashville. Back and forth, Titans and Washington.
What do you think of trying to bring this guy down? And said, first thing you have to do is you have to stop his legs. Matt Eberflus calls it hamstring tackling, and March, it looked like that ball did indeed come out early.
Yeah, Al-Quadin Muhammad, who is starting for Jabal Sheard, comes over and punches that out. But the Titans were 3 for 4 in the red zone last week, and it really came down to their play-action passing game. So the Colts linebackers have to do a good job reading, run, and pass down here.
Could be the final play of the quarter. Mariota over the middle. It is caught just short of the end zone.
Sims, who makes a nice move, and he's down about a yard shy of a first down. So a new wrinkle, Steven Sims Jr. being involved in a couple of carries and also on that one fake in the run game. He's a wide receiver, a rookie from Kansas.
And can we go back to the point our colleague Pam Oliver made earlier about the running game? Adrian Peterson, a north-south runner. Head coach Jay Gruden likes that flexibility to be able to get to the perimeter a little bit more, and he's done that today, not with Peterson, but with his wide receiver Steven Sims on variations of the jet sweep.
3rd down and 2. On the fake, Keenum's going to throw it to Peterson. He's got it, looking for the end zone. And he's going to be shy, but a 1st and goal for Washington.
He's not supposed to be a guy who catches very many passes. Remember his reputation in Minnesota? Not great hands, didn't throw it to him very much. Adrian Peterson always insisted that he could catch the football. We just didn't have the quarterbacks who kept throwing it to me. And here in Washington, he's caught more footballs than ever before.
And
End of the first quarter in the Washington-Dallas game. We will bookmark that and get you back when they resume. Meanwhile, Gardner Minshew feeling some heat, 3rd and 9. He's got the first down. He's got more. By the way, the penalty flag that came in right there late was against Houston. So it's a 21-yard scramble by the rookie quarterback. And here come the Packers again. Already up 14-0. They might have one more play before the end of the first quarter.
Dumps this one off to Raheem Mostert, who takes it 39 yards for the score. Jimmy Garoppolo, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. Niners up 14-7. Chris?
All right, thank you. As the first quarter is winding down here.
58! Here we go! 319! 319!
Rodgers was hoping to get him to jump, but why not milk the clock? It's a 14-0 Packer lead.
Okay, the games that we're keying on right now have all gone to the end of the first quarter. We're waiting for Washington to come back. We will bookmark Aaron Rodgers and the Packers red zone drive there at the end of the quarter. And then in just a moment, we're going to get Tennessee and Indianapolis to start the second quarter at the 1-yard line. We have time to check back in on a Seahawks-Steelers play, 1st and 10 for Russell.
Going on and moves so fast for him.
Here's Carson, lost the football. Steelers have recovered. And it is taken back all the way by Mark Barrett. And a penalty marker at the end of the run.
Well, this touchdown's going to come back. It's a block in the back at the very end of this run. A really unnecessary.
Wait, a flag has come in the Pittsburgh defensive touchdown. I believe it's going to be against Pittsburgh. Will it be before or after the recovery, though? And Marcus Mariota, first play of the second quarter. Tackle eligible.
During the return,
touchdown catch.
Illegal block in the back. Number 21 of the recovering team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Down in the red zone, the Titans like to get tricky. Here's Quisenberry right here playing tight end. On the line, they're going to fake the play action and watch him sneak out number 72. How about that?
I was going to start David Quessenberry,
so far,
but decided against it at the last minute. Marcus Mariota, touchdown there. We could have a tie game at the extra point is good. Next New England possession live.
Brady, deep ball, flag down, over the head of Gordon. Incomplete. Brady ended up on the ground. Penalty marker at the 34-yard line.
Brady took a pretty good lick. That's why that ball.
Start of the second quarter for Washington. They handed it to Adrian Peterson on 1st and goal from the 1. Peterson did not get there. 2nd and goal from the 1 coming up live.
Defense number 25. Holding. Offense number 75. Penalties offset. Replay second down.
So Karras, the psyche of this team would be lifted if Peterson scores.
They will give it to Peterson with the cut. And he is in. Touchdown.
So look at that massive humanity.
Adrian Peterson is now in 5th place all time as Aaron Rodgers passes inside of the 3-yard line. The Packers are moving, but Adrian Peterson on the left side of your screen, that is touchdown number 107 in Adrian Peterson's career rushing touchdown. He breaks a tie with the great Jim Brown and moves into 5th place by himself on the all-time rushing touchdown list.
140 yards. And how is Zimmer, Mike Zimmer, going to adjust, calls the defensive signals for this Viking team. Aaron Jones, that's going to be another Packer touchdown.
Right now, the big thing, we're talking about the quarterback play, what the wide receivers are doing.
Packers making a statement in the division early on in 2019. All right, some people said Lamar Jackson, yeah, it was against the Dolphins last week. What would he do for an encore? Well, he's running the ball today, 34 yards rushing, including that one you just watched. It was a 16-yarder there. He's also passing 7 of 9, 108 and a touchdown. Ravens, though, just 1 touchdown on the board here as we are now at the end of the first quarter. We'll continue to watch that duel of former and recent Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks. We come back now to Antonio Brown getting several touches in the first quarter plus of this game. And Tom Brady is 7 of 7 right now, does not have an incompletion.
For Antonio Brown.
Does it look like someone who knows what he's doing in this offense right now?
Well, I think he's over the frost.
Showing you this play. On this play, left wrist. And you'll remember that he had wrist injury that knocked him out for most of the season 2 years ago. So David Johnson will update you when we know more.
Together on this offense as James White is caught from behind. It's a 4-yard pickup. Jamal Wiltz, former member of the Patriots practice squad, makes the tackle. So the two of them on the sideline. And for Antonio Brown,
Pittsburgh Steelers on the move. No one has scored yet in the Pittsburgh-Seattle game, but Ben Roethlisberger in the red zone. And they'll load it back up for 3rd and 5 shortly. 3rd and 4 for the Patriots.
Newest addition, Antonio Brown. Very important.
3rd and 3. Line of scrimmage is the 30. Fast-moving first half here in Miami. Shotgun Brady. Into a tight window, and it's knocked away. Tried to squeeze it into Josh Gordon. First incompletion of the day for Brady.
Xavier Howard with a big play here. Bump and run coverage. And he's...
Steelers 1 for 4 on 3rd down today. They must get to the Seahawks 12. Roethlisberger backpedaling. Moving to his right. Lobs one up towards the end zone. There is a flag. Samuels came down with the football out of bounds.
And they have set up Gostkowski for a 48-yard attempt. No good. Off to the right.
Looked like the foot was definitely out of bounds, but you're going to get pass interference. Watch out, Carl. Ball's coming. But you're looking at pass interference on Kendricks here.
Pass interference, number 56, defense. That foul occurred at the 1-yard line. That's where the ball will be placed. Automatic first down.
And look, Ben Roethlisberger has always been good at second reaction plays, finding somebody down the field, and he's not looking for the football. Impedes his attempt to catch it, pushes him out of bounds. Actually, I think that is the correct call.
Big bodies on the right side, 2 tight ends and an extra tackle, and now a challenge flag thrown by Pete Carroll on the pass interference call by Kendricks.
Well, Pete Carroll told us he was going to be judicious with these challenges. I'm not sure.
Wow, today is Pete Carroll's 68th birthday. He wants a gift from the officials there, throwing the red flag on the called DPI. Buffalo into the end zone for the touchdown. That's the rookie, Devin Singletary, going in for the score and putting Buffalo back on top.
Touchdown.
To see the Bills go in motion just to cause a little bit of hesitation by the defense, but excellent job of blocking. Singletary untouched until he gets to the goal line.
The Bills' 3rd-round draft pick out of
first NFL touchdown for Singletary. Buffalo takes a 13-7 lead. We got a red alert. Let's catch you up on the Vikings and the Packers. We told you about the Green Bay defense. Well, there's a crease in the defense, and that's the type of man who can exploit it. Dalvin Cook, gone. 75-yard touchdown for the young running back. He's got 91 yards rushing, Vikings score the first touchdown against the Green Bay defense in 2019. It's 21-7. Jimmy Garoppolo had a hot hand in the first quarter. Second quarter, whoop, floats that one, and it goes into the arms of William Jackson. The Bengals defensive back catches it, turns, gets it back up the left side, and the Bengals are in business. Garoppolo is 4 of 7 passing, but he does have 2 touchdowns. And then Justin Tucker caps off a Ravens scoring drive. It's a field goal from 33 yards away. Ravens 7 points on top of Arizona. Okay, no one in the red zone at the moment. We are waiting on the outcome of the challenge by Pete Carroll in the Seahawks-Steelers game. Meantime, let's check in on Philip Rivers.
37-year-old Philip Rivers. And over the head, Allen. There the coverage on the play by Darius Slay. Threw at him just 4 times last week down in Arizona, the former Pro Bowler.
Slay doesn't get targeted a whole lot. I think all things being equal, if you're Philip Rivers, you want to work away from Darius Slay. The problem is he's covering their best receiver, Keenan Allen, in the slot. Chargers do a terrific job moving Keenan Allen around. It's going to be difficult for Slay to get his hands on him at the line of scrimmage.
Prime defensive backs. Eckler is in. And Philip Rivers, 73% through the air last week against Indianapolis and LA. Second down and 10. There's a block in there by Culkin and the other tight end, Green. A gain of 4 by Eckler. A tackle made by Tavai. He's out to the 28. To New York, James and Coach.
Bills. We got an update, a sideline confrontation. Jalen Ramsey and the head coach, Doug Marrone, nose to nose, screaming at each other. Marrone has to get pulled away. Ramsey was down sitting on the sideline, and James Conner gets into the Steelers end zone for the touchdown.
No doubt, Kenny, where they were going to run that football, put all those big bodies on that side and let their big back get his first touchdown of the year. And it was a nice little push, but this is what James Conner does well, just the determination. I think he showed this last year that he has the ability to run through tackles, and he's going against Shaquille Griffin, the corner.
Every scoring play is automatically reviewed. They'll take a look at that left elbow by Conner. We'll let you know if it's anything other than a touchdown. Long field goal attempt here for Randy Bullock and the Bengals. It's from 52 yards, snap, spot, and he goes left at the wrong moment. No good. Maintain that 14-7 Niners lead in Cincinnati. Live to M&T Bank.
Judon, 7 sacks last year, said he wants to double that this season. A good start. He had 1 last week and now 1 here. 2nd 16. Demir Byrd trying to get back to the original line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Man, they got a guy playing both ways, 42. He's a fullback. In the last series, he plays linebacker. What's Harbaugh doing? We're going back to the 50s?
And Patrick Ricard, he can move pretty well for 6'3", 311. That one right near the line to gain, but about a yard short. He returns it to Demir Byrd, but he could not get to the marker. Another decision here for Arizona, 4th and 1.
Looks like they're going to go for it. They want to play speed ball, try to go quick.
Let's see what they do. It's a keeper, and Murray's going to get it. As whistles come in here at the end. A timeout.
Before the ball was snapped, Arizona called it second charge timeout of the half.
Game Rewind presented by Amazon Prime. We've got Kyler Murray, whose completion percentage is really solid so far. Murray wings one in there to Christian Kirk. He caught the deep ball earlier. This one goes for 26 yards. Right now, Kyler Murray, 11 of 13 for 106 yards, but still trying to get his team into the end zone. Live to Lambeau. Do we have a sudden change here? Turnover?
The ruling on the field is a catch. Subsequently, the receiver fumbled the ball, recovered by the defense. First down.
Now, look like Harrison got a punch in there and scrambled for it before it went out of bounds. A Viking takeaway has shifted things.
That was Marquez Valdez-Scantling on the catch and fumble. Actually, it was Geronimo Allison for forgive me on that one, is Geronimo Allison, credited with the catch. They're calling it a fumble. They will review that. They reviewed the James Conner touchdown and confirmed that it was a touchdown. 7-0 Pittsburgh in that Seattle-Pittsburgh game.
Here they come. Quick throw. And Byrd, if he could have escaped, would have gone to the end zone, but a shoestring tackle that time by Anthony Averett.
Great job by Arizona. They run a zero route, which you guys going to take 0 steps and immediately go on the slant because it allows you to throw it before the blitz gets there.
That Arizona offense moving quick. Kirk down to the 38, dropped by Brandon Carr. 4-yard gain, 2nd and 6. Christian Kirk was in the same class originally at Texas A&M as Kyler Murray, and now they're back in the NFL together. Quick speed to the right here from Murray, but nowhere to go. Baltimore wasn't fooled.
I think the more games Kyler Murray plays in the league, NFL defenses are going to realize he really don't want to run the ball. He wants to be a pocket passer. He wants to be a quarterback. But that hitting and that contact, just in talking to people around Arizona, talking to Kyler, he feels about contact the way Drew Brees and Tom Brady and them do. Just because he's fast.
Double box in the Niners. Look on the right side of the screen. It's a replay of a huge Matt Breida run. Just standard off-tackle play that was bottled up, but Breida with a jump step goes sideways, then finds the left sideline. That's a 32-yard gain. Breida has 67 yards on the ground. Another catch here for the Cardinals. They're in business, and now the Niners are inside the 10-yard line. Greg Kittle will set them up with a goal to go, I believe, or maybe. And it's going to be 2nd down, but they can get a 1st down inside the 5-yard line. Back and forth. Cardinals offense, Niners offense.
No, that's not your father's Keyshawn, but every wide receiver is the same theory. Throw me the damn ball.
Caught it over Brandon Carr, the talented 12th-year corner. First and goal. Edmonds churning those legs. Down to the 8.
First defense a season ago.
And they're going up tempo to get him going.
And Jeff Wilson Jr., who was just activated from the practice squad last night, checks into the game. So they now have 3 running backs, Chris, after the injury last week to their big free agent acquisition, Tevin Coleman.
And we talked to Kyle Shanahan about that in our meeting, and they're kind of used to that, right? McKinnon's on IR.
Top 5. They were the #1 overall defense a season ago. Movement. False start.
False start.
1st and goal. And it is a touchdown for Wilson.
The pulling lineman will take you to the hole. The Bengal defenders
hand rushed in. Marcus Gilbert, who they go get from the Pittsburgh Steelers, is a veteran right tackle. He gets injured, so Justin gets pressed into duty. Off to a tough start so far, giving up a sack, and that a big penalty inside the red zone.
Saw Jeff Wilson scoring for the San Francisco 49ers. We've got the Colts and the Cardinals in the red zone. Kyler, quick pass, trying to set up the blocks. They're there. They're inside the 5-yard line. Colts plowing their way down to around the 12. No gain on that play. It'll be 3rd down on the right side of your screen and 3rd down and goal right here for Arizona.
Try to cut in and then try to get back outside. A lot of that Saturday football that you love still here on Sunday. Good call. You're going to get the ball inside the 5.
3rd and goal from the 3. Murray looking for Fitzgerald. No, and no flags. Coverage by Brandon Carr.
That's a good matchup right there. 2 veterans. Brandon Carr in great coverage here. He gets an outside shade on it.
Retooling this team. Here's Brissett to the end zone. It is caught for the Colts touchdown. Paris Campbell. Brissett, perfect
Paris Campbell comes from the other side of the field. This is a deep crossing route at the back pylon. So you need
21. The Cardinals 2 red zone trips, but no times to pay dirt.
An outstanding job. Campbell
sack, but it's the Dallas offense that has been struggling. Dallas only has one first down and 36 total yards for the Cowboys offense. They're being shut out right now in Landover, Maryland, 7-0 Washington. Meanwhile, closest to the red zone at the moment is right here, believe it or not, the New England Patriots. We showed you Antonio Brown on the first drive of the game for New England. 3 catches. He also has 1 rushing attempt. He has not been targeted since then. So Antonio Brown, 3 catches, 1 run. You've seen all of them right here on NFL Red Zone.
With good penetration, heads up by Burkhead to hang on to it and pick up 9.
In the first half last week, Miami gave up 6 touchdowns and 42 points to Baltimore. Right now, New England has been stuck at 7. Rex Burkhead very close to a first down. Christian Wilkins, 23-year-old rookie from Clemson, with the stop for Miami.
Now watch Brady on the quarterback sneak here. He's got him right to the line of scrimmage. He's had so much success with this type of play.
3rd and less than a yard. Instead, they'll give it to Devlin, who sticks the helmet in there and picks up the first down. So they'll line it up at the 30. Patriots have 3 timeouts remaining. Miami with 3 timeouts. We've got 2.5 to go in this first half.
And Tom can let the clock run all the way down to the 2-minute warning. Give his offense a little bit of a blow here. Hot and humid as usual here in Miami.
Tom Brady has not performed well in games that have been 87 degrees or hotter at opening kick. New England has run 31 plays compared to Miami 16, nearly double the amount of plays for the Pats here in the first half as we hit the 2-minute warning. 7-0.
2-minute warning.
Make things complicated by keeping room to find that 1 yard.
Double box in the Detroit Lions, who are 10 yards away from the red zone.
Stafford 1st and 10. Swings it outside. Caught by Jesse James. There's Davis, and finished off on the play by Hayward. Myers, Pro Bowler last season with the Jets. Seahawks have been shut out their last 2 trips to Pittsburgh. In fact, those are the last 2 times they have been shut out. There is a flag. And highlights around the NFL. All coming up on the Verizon halftime report. 2nd down 5. Four in the secondary for the Chargers. 8th play of the drive for the Lions, and hurdling a defender. Nuosu makes the stop, and a leaping Kerryon Johnson for 3 to the Charger 22.
You know, if you're concerned about an inexperienced left tackle and Tyrell Crosby, the best thing you can do for him is run the football right at this front 7, and that's what the Lions have.
First, wishing Pete Carroll a happy birthday.
I'm sure that's not all he
Personal
said.
foul, number 93. Defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
3rd down and 12. McKissick is a receiver. 3rd down and 2, and here goes Stafford. He's got a hand on it, but it was thrown in back of him. Davis on the coverage at about the 16.
A down lineman, or even the guy off the ball, running into the kicker, or I'm sorry, into the snapper. This long snapper now is a protected position. You just can't do it.
Pulled right over Tyler Ott. So a new set of downs and a second opportunity for the Seahawks. From the Steelers' 14-yard line, Wilson lobs one up to the end zone for a touchdown to the tight end, Will Dissly.
Good decision here. And a great throw by Russell Wilson. And I think he noticed immediately the matchup that he had. It's Dissly on the shorter Devin Bush. Here's Devin Bush. He's going to end up covering the tight end right here. And Why wouldn't you take this opportunity? There must be a 5 or 6.
Okay, we're going to pick up the Bengals and Niners game. This one is just outside the red zone.
4-2-40, make people miss and get chunk plays.
Second down. And it again is Giovanni Bernard, and he's inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. That'll bring up a third down.
Watching the Buffalo and New York Giants game on a 1st and 20 after a penalty. Josh Allen looks, and goes to the guy they paid to move away from Dallas. Cole Beasley weaves his way down inside of the 15-yard line. Red zone drive for Buffalo, up 14-7.
Watch any pick routes. Up here.
Throw it behind the intended receiver, Erickson. Boy, that's a surprise. Of all the receivers you have on this offense, and you're throwing the ball to the seldom used Alex Erickson on a 3rd down and 5 in the red zone.
So that's on Dalton. Why? Because he has a poor read on this. When Erickson is on top of Witherspoon, throw the ball over the head. When Witherspoon's on top of Erickson,
you got the Bengals on the left side, you've got the Bills offense on the right side of the screen. Couple red zone chances here.
Forward at right tackle as Nsekhe takes a break. Walked off under his own power. Here's a pitch for Isaiah McKenzie. McKenzie to the 5, to the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo.
Well, this will go down as a touchdown pass for Josh Allen because he actually flips it forward. Great timing on the movement by McKenzie.
All right, Buffalo going up 21-0 if they hit the extra point. Just had this in the Dallas-Washington game. Dak Prescott, deep shot, one-on-one. What a ball, what a catch. Touchdown, and it's Devin Smith, one of the forgotten wide receivers on the Cowboys roster. Devin Smith with a 51-yard touchdown, and the Cowboys, who had been quarter.
I can't proceed any further. Mark's a tough guy, too. That was a good shot he took right there.
Ingram's still down. Now they're trying to get him up.
Ravens red zone. Patriots red zone. Lamar Jackson spins back to his right, throws, and where are they going to spot it? That's going to be a 1st and goal, Baltimore. 1st and 10 for Tom Brady.
Get better. They talk about forming their identity and developing it over the course of the season. Brady, end zone, caught by Brown, touchdown, New England. Antonio Brown, the newest Patriot, plunging into the stands in his hometown.
You talk about faith in a receiver. Brady shows that he is very comfortable with number 17. Going against first-year player Jamal Wiltz. A little bit of a shove there. The ball right on target. And over the fence he goes.
Antonio Brown wearing number 17 for his father, Eddie Brown. An accomplished Arena League wide receiver and specialist. Touchdown has been confirmed. 11 plays, 65 yards. Brady hooks up with Antonio Brown for his first.
In his first game as a New England Patriot, Antonio Brown finds the end zone in the first half. Meanwhile, Jacksonville finally is on the board. They kick the field goal to tie it up 3-3. Jacksonville and Houston in Houston. Little footnote on the Antonio Brown touchdown. Antonio Brown is the 72nd different receiver to catch a touchdown pass from Tom Brady. That's the all-time NFL record for a quarterback hitting 72 different receivers. Vinny Testaverde is second in NFL history, having hit 70 different receivers. All right, 1st and goal, Ravens.
Edwards, no, it's going to be a keeper for Jackson. An easy pitch and catch to Hayden Hurst. So the tight end Andrews had the first touchdown grab of the day, and now the other tight end, Hayden Hurst, gets in here.
Last week's productivity, we blamed it on Miami. Miami's tanking. they weren't ready for the game, but at some point we got to give Baltimore credit for evolving this offense, how they're running, physical attack. They're going to fake the lead up into the line of scrimmage. Got 3 tight ends on the roster they're very comfortable with. Bobby Ingram, the tight end coach, feels like they're going to make a huge difference in the passing game with having Hollywood on the outside until he gets healthy.
Those 3 tight ends, they admitted that they've got a little romance. They do everything together. They get taped together. They eat together. Yep. And you can see that camaraderie. Got a flag down on the PAT.
Like a bootleg. Makes
the Ravens cash in on their goal-to-go opportunity. You saw the Patriots touchdown live from the red zone. How about the Niners back on the move one more time? San Francisco, they open up the season with a road win. Here is road game number 2. The Niners have not been 2-0 on the road to start a season since 1989.
Geno Atkins wrapping up the ball carrier. Mostert, second down. This San Francisco offense, 232 yards so far. That is 1 less yard than this Bengals defense gave up in the entire game last week in Seattle.
Well, that's because right there, you saw Kyle Shanahan. We had a shot of him. He's in the zone, right? He sees it. He's feeling it. And that's what great play callers do. When you're able to run and pass, everybody knows the whole playbook is open.
Samuel. And now Samuel wide open again. And I mean, Nick Vigil not in within 15 yards of him. And coming up to make the stop is Jesse Bates III, denying first down yardage.
So in order to be effective play action, you have to sell it. These guys have to sell the play action. Watch them all work in unison right there. Everybody's working in unison. You got everybody running here. Still don't know that the guy doesn't have the ball, the running back. It's just an easy pitch and catch where you get the ball into your athlete's hands in space.
All righty, so third down and 2 for the 49ers, trying to add to this 21-10 lead before halftime. Mostert will get the first down and a penalty flag down. Mostert inside the 10 for a touchdown, but will it stand? Nope, coming back, holding against the 49ers.
Lakeland Tomlinson, 75.
29-yard touchdown denied by a penalty.
There
of course,
are multiple fouls for holding against San Francisco, holding number 68 and number 75. 10-yard penalty, repeat third down.
They had 3 of them called back a week ago on penalties, did the Niners. 5 in the game against Tampa Bay.
Well, I can understand the holding when you're blocking Geno Atkins. Now what?
All right, I got a Giants update. Not a lot of offense for the Giants. We showed you the Saquon Barkley touchdown run early in the game. Eli Manning not hot at all. Hits Evan Engram for a first down here, but that is just the 3rd completion for Eli. Manning is 3 for 10. And the Giants have only run 19 offensive plays in the first half.
That's 4 touchdowns taken away by 49er penalties in the first game and a half. Throwing down the near side, intended for Richie James Jr. It's incomplete. So if you're the 49ers here on 4th down, you're thinking it over on the sideline. And it looks like they decided to punt the football with 4:49 to go until halftime.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. You're up 21-10. You know that your defense has been playing.
Step away from the punt. We come back now to the Vikings, who have the one really quick lightning strike Dalvin Cook touchdown. Other than that, it's all Packers.
At that point, so a nice little play action here to start this drive on first down.
9 pass attempts. Cousins is 3 out of 9. They've run the ball a dozen times. Alexander Madison, the rookie from Boise State, is in. Cousins fakes to him. He's in trouble and gets rid of it right away. Preston Smith.
Jacoby Brissett has a couple of touchdowns here in the first half in Nashville from right around midfield on 3rd and 6. All day to throw, and the DB jumped around. Did a great job right there. That's Logan Ryan jumping in front of the receiver, picking off Brissett right there. Tennessee is hanging around in a one-possession game. They'll have the 2-minute warning. Plenty of time for Marcus Mariota and company set up right shy of midfield. We'll check back on Tennessee.
Amir Abdullah comes in. Top of your screen, the running back to the receiver spot. That's Thielen in the slot for Cousins, who's protected for a moment. And intercepted. It's Preston Smith. Bounced out of the hands of the Viking receiver. And Preston Smith comes up with the takeaway. And the Viking defense wants their moment of glory. So let's all pose. And as Aaron Rodgers said, this is a different defense now in Green Bay.
Preston Smith, Zadarius Smith, big acquisitions for that Green Bay defense in the offseason. Dak Prescott had the home run touchdown pass, and this is a big run. The Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback rolls for 42 yards on the fake inside handoff, and the quarterback keeper, he's got 109 yards passing. We just hit the 2-minute warning. We'll bookmark that Dallas drive. They're just outside the red zone. When they come out of the 2-minute warning commercial timeout, we'll get you to the Cowboys. Now back to the Giants, who have 3.5 minutes before the first half.
That penalty's declined. Result of the play is first down.
Trent Murphy, the defensive end, lined up offside. So it's a first down for the Giants now at the Buffalo 30.
Defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier. Some of the adjustments that he made after that first series when the Giants drove down been excellent, but now the Giants getting something going here before the end of the half.
Manning sets up the screen. And this is Evan Ingram, and that one doesn't go very far at all.
All right, come back to the Detroit Lions, still down by 1 point after the missed PAT from their touchdown. Matthew Stafford on 3rd and 4. Big one there. That's Marvin Jones climbing the ladder for a 24-yard leaping catch. Lions moving down the field.
And you start talking about the fact that your defensive coordinator played on one of the best defensive units in NFL history in those 85 Bears. I would be picking his brain as much as possible.
2nd and 12. Manning got rid of it. To the 30-yard line is Barkley and no further. Matt Milano.
Jags and Texans. DeAndre Hopkins working against Jalen Ramsey. Catch there. Ramsey with a little frustration at the end of the tackle. 7-yard completion for the first down. Watson is 11 of 18 for just 89 yards in what's the lowest scoring game of the day so far. Okay, 2-minute warning there on the right side of the screen. We'll step away from that one. Just 16 seconds left for Bill O'Brien's offense to try and break this 3-3 tie in Houston. The Dallas Cowboys are out of the 2-minute warning timeout. We pick up the Cowboys drive just outside the red zone.
2 minutes to go, Charles. 7-7 after the 42-yard run by Prescott. And here's Elliott looking to do the same. And he's inside the 15-yard line. Is Ezekiel Elliott going to pick up 9?
I think this counter time. Yes, you do. You wear that orange tie to the meeting.
And now he has a little payback.
2nd and 6.
Watson deep for Stills at the 5-yard line. He's got it. What a throw by Watson.
Give Elliott 8, so it'll be 2nd and 2 up the middle patiently, and then he runs into Jonathan Bostic, but not before he picks up a Cowboy first down.
Timeout
on the back end. Talk about Watson, and he kind of just got ducked down out of the way right there.
Yeah, you see him run down the field. He's hit, ow.
I think he might have gotten these little pellets from the turf in his eyes when he hit the ground.
1st and goal with 9 seconds to go. Watson surveying the scene. Scrambling right. Nobody home. Fires incomplete. It was Quincy Williams bearing down on Watson. That stops
ability to take control of the line of scrimmage lately.
Cowboys go 2 tight ends. Prescott on the roll, looking, firing, high, and I think that was intentional. It's incomplete. And we get a penalty back by the quarterback. Montez Sweat was chasing Dak Prescott. I didn't see if he got him at the end. He did.
Roughing the passer. Defense number 90. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
The rookie out of Michigan State, number 90 in the
Fairbairn.
Yeah, and the Watson scramble, which a lot of times leads to good things, may have cost Houston an extra play. If he'd thrown it away earlier, they could have maybe had one more shot in the end zone. Instead, Fairbairn with a second field.
Steelers and Cowboys both threatening before the half.
And he's going to come up short on the cutback. Jimmy Moreland from the secondary with a nice
corner is, I think, he's definitely out of bounds. Jamar Taylor, who just signed back to this Seahawks roster, and keep an eye here again, going to the elbow. Something is not right there.
Mason Rudolph is the backup. 3rd down and 4. And now a timeout is taken with the play clock winding down.
And you know, Kenny, that's not the arm that we talked about earlier in the football game.
So Ben looks to shake it off. And we head to Los Angeles for a game break. Carissa.
Thanks, Kenny. The Ravens
last week than they did last year. And it certainly looks like today they're doing it a ton. Just, I don't have it in front of me. Well, here it is. That's why we have a great graphics department. Here's what they've done. 19 of the 26 total plays in 11 personnel. It's spreading out the field, as you said earlier.
Spread out the field, give you more options and more room to rumble. Remember, the Rams went to the Super Bowl last year. They ran 11 personnel 91% of the time last season.
2nd and goal. Prescott keeps it. Pressure in his face. Throws. Has a completion to Witten, and he is hit immediately by Holcomb. And the Cowboys now will take a timeout with 20 seconds to go in the half. It'll bring up a 3rd and goal. And while
3rd down and 4 following the timeout. 3.5 remaining in the 2nd quarter. Bunch formation to the right side, including the tight end McDonald. Roethlisberger looking right, and he gets it to Smith-Schuster. There is a flag, and now a second flag is thrown.
I love it. Both the receivers down here and the DBs for Seattle are clapping their hands like, who's the flag on? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a pick, just the way it's set up. You have that 1 yard from the line of scrimmage.
Pass interference, number 89. Offense, 10-yard penalty.
Standing in, pressure coming, senses, directing traffic, throws, incomplete, should have been intercepted. And we get a penalty in the end zone on the far side of the field, so hang on.
This is going to go against Washington as well.
13 seconds ago in the half.
Before the pass was thrown, holding, defense number 32. The penalty is half the distance to the goal.
From the 32, empty backfield. They need the 18 for a first down. Pass is caught by Connor. And he'll be knocked out of bounds at the 23-yard line.
Yanks on him. Remember, you've got 5 yards where you can play him and bump him, but you can't grab him initially out of the 5 yards. You have to play him with your hands and not grab him and tackle him.
It's his first and goal, Charles. Yeah, no doubt. But 13 seconds ago, they do have one timeout left. Prescott going to throw it again, coming near side. He's got a touchdown. It's Jason Witten. And the Cowboys take advantage of it.
Boswell's kick is good, just inside the right upright.
Spreading things out can help an offense. But how about them spreading it out there and allowing Dak Prescott to identify the matchup he liked and get to it. And this time he goes to the grand old man himself, Jason Witten, for his second touchdown catch.
All right, the Dallas Cowboys, Jason Jason Witten out of the broadcast booth. 2 games, 2 touchdown catches for the future Hall of Fame tight end. Cowboys will hang on the extra point here to see if they make it a 14-7 game. They do indeed with 9 seconds left in the first half. Witten is pumped. Come back to the game in Lambeau here. Minnesota down 21-7. This game has a minute and 12 seconds before the end of the first half.
I thought he was going down to the ground.
Second-year player from Northern Illinois, undrafted free agent, had 1 catch of the opener. What a run by Beebe. On first and goal, Cousins. Catch me, and that's a touchdown. Stephon Diggs into the end zone. Hesitated at the goal line, hung onto the ball and got in. And what was once 21-0, it's now a 1-score game.
You got to be wary of Stephon Diggs in that situation. He releases under Preston Smith, just kind of gets lost. And he got dropped in coverage right there. It looked like he got...
Got a red alert for you. Let's show you a few plays from other games when we were watching those red zone possessions. Andy Dalton, who had a career-high passing yards last week with over 400 yards passing, wants that one back. Ouch. Quan Alexander, linebacker who got tossed out of the game last week against the Buccaneers, comes back with an interception there. Dalton still has 164 yards passing. Aldrick Rosas with the Giants field goal attempt from 48 yards. No, it's wide left.
He missed that one.
No good. Still a 2-touchdown Buffalo Bills lead at MetLife Stadium. And at Ford Field, Phillip Rivers, 3rd and 8 from his own end zone. Throwing left side, Keenan Allen keeps his feet in bounds. That one only has 2 seconds remaining before the end of the half. Don't think that Phillip Rivers is going to get... I don't know. Phillip Rivers might be in the shot in a Hail Mary range there. If he does and he throws it, we'll show it to you. Meanwhile, okay, we're going to dip into Baltimore. Now we're back in Cincinnati here. A lot of these games coming down to the final seconds of the second quarter. We'll show you as many finishes as we can.
Go down to the Volkswagen, you stop. I'll throw it back to the mailbox. You know, the Hogan's mailbox, I'll throw it to the mailbox. That's what you'll be. Trick place. He's doing what he wants to do, and the Bengals can't counter yet.
In Maslin, they're driving it forward.
Yes.
Give me a break. And a throw by Garoppolo. That appeared to be short. Kendrick Bourne, 3rd-year wide receiver, who had 42 receptions a year ago. Maybe he's a guy to step up. Somebody's going to need to, as you pointed out.
Well, I'll tell you who stepped up on that play for the Bengals, because he forced...
Chargers not going to get a Hail Mary attempt, but they are going to get a field goal attempt. 39 yards to end the first half, and it's good. Chargers up 10-6 at the half in Detroit. That's Ty Long, the punter/field goal kicker for the Chargers. Remember I said I didn't think that Phillip Rivers was going to be in Hail Mary distance? Well, he kind of wasn't, except he still took a deep shot. Didn't make it to the end zone, but how about that by Mike Williams? 47-yard diving catch, and they were able to stop the clock to set up Ty Long for the field goal that you just watched live. Wow. Rivers, 141 yards passing at the half. Chargers escaped in week 1 with an overtime victory at home over the Colts, trying to start this season 2-0. We'll keep you posted when they start the third quarter in the Motor City. Back to the final 44 seconds here in Cincinnati.
Some adjustments by Lou Anarumo. You see Kyle Shanahan. And what else can I draw up? Lou Anarumo, defensive coordinator for the Bengals. They'll have to make some adjustments at halftime. And everything we talked about, the Bengals make you defend the field. So far this first half, the 49ers have made the Bengals defend from sideline to sideline. And that's a tough task to do when you have a team that's able to attack you in all different directions.
5-man rush. Garoppolo gets rid of it, and what a catch made by James to get a first down to the 27-yard line, and the clock continuing to run.
Clock running. Niners have 1 timeout remaining. You're watching the end of a replay of T.J. Jones with a big catch for the G-men. Eli is in field goal range right now with 1 minute and 15 seconds and 1 timeout with which to work.
Manning from the 33. Got his man close to the 20-yard line. That is a completion to Benny Fowler.
Well,
Clock
because of
continues to move.
Well, because of that one timeout, you have a little flexibility here. There's just now under a minute. Get the guys on the line of scrimmage, try and save it.
Manning again had it batted, and it was intercepted. Picked off by the Buffalo Bills. Trent Murphy, the defensive end. Off the deflection by the rookie Ed Oliver, I believe. Ed Oliver is number 91, first-round draft pick.
Remember we saw the Stephon Diggs touchdown catch? The play did not count. This is a replay of it on the right side of the screen. They called offensive pass interference. There was illegal contact that they said got Minnesota open for that touchdown. So they took the touchdown off the board. This is now 2nd and goal live at Lambeau.
2nd and goal from the 13. Cousins off the hands of Diggs, but the defense was good as Alexander was there. It's almost if he was led a little bit more, Cousins could have connected.
We got 40 seconds remaining for the Arizona Cardinals to work with, and that's going to lead to some pushing and shoving. They were just trying to clock the football, spike it on the ground. One of the Ravens decided to bolt across the line of scrimmage and try and disrupt it.
Guy, that's one-on-one guy, and showed you there. And we have a timeout. Minnesota will have 2 timeouts remaining.
Get it in there to him. Kyler squeezes it in there.
Man, Averett was draped all over it. And he has nowhere to go. To the end zone. And incomplete. Clock stops now at 6. Do you take one more shot or kick the field goal?
No, I take it. But see, we're going to talk about him an awful lot coming off the edge. Judon on the other side. But also, let's not forget, Patrick Ricard, he was in there. The guy's playing both ways. He plays fullback, plays little tight end. Now he's blitzing Kyler Murray.
We got a triple box of games in the final seconds of the first half. Kirk Cousins end zone shot over the head of Kyle Rudolph. Upper right-hand corner of the screen. Robbie Gould trying to cap off a Niners drive. This would extend to a 14-point lead, and one of the most accurate of all time does his job. 2 seconds remain there, but it's 14-point lead for the Niners. And then the Ravens game goes to the half. Baltimore 17, Arizona 6.
Using that 6'6" frame of Rudolph, who had a Hail Mary touchdown last year. Bailey, who missed earlier from 47, makes from 31. So
and the fact that we have the first game to go to the second half. It's this one down in South Florida. New England only up 13-0 against the Dolphins.
Waits. And Michel is dropped after picking up 1 yard. Avery Moss in on that stop. Good power for Michel, solid speed. He's got burst. Pretty decisive. We saw him during some high moments in his rookie season last year. Got off to the slow start last year. First-round pick out of Georgia in 2018, 31st pick overall.
Yeah. This is a big 56 seconds remain here. DJ Fluker, the injured Seattle Seahawk. Seattle football here, down a field goal.
So hopefully he's okay and he's able to come back in the second half of this football game.
Ben Roethlisberger has returned to the Steelers sideline. Under a minute to go in the quarter, and the Seahawks will get the ball first following halftime. So a big opportunity for Seattle. Wilson on first down. Terrific tackle made on Procise by Cameron Sutton.
Cameron Sutton has been their dime/nickel. They play a lot of guys in the secondary. He's been getting the call most of the day. That was a fantastic tackle and kept him in bounds, so the clock keeps going.
Loss of a yard. And now Wilson near side, and Sutton keeps Lockett inbounds this time.
Another one. And you saw how slow this Seattle offense was moving. It might come back to bite them here. With only 20 seconds left.
And remember, they lost 10 seconds due to the injury on the runoff. 3rd down and 10. As Wilson throws, looking for Metcalf, there is a flag. With Steven Nelson defending.
Steven Nelson turned and looked for this football. I think it's going to be hard for them to say defensive pass interference. And of course, that's coming from a defensive player, but I thought he did everything right here.
2 fouls on the offense on the play, both on player number 14. Pass interference, that penalty's declined. Personal foul, face mask, that penalty will be accepted. 15 yards, 3rd down.
Well, you talk about stepping up to the challenge. Nelson against a much bigger DK Metcalf here, bump and run coverage. Look, and he does a great job being in phase and turning inside to look for that fade ball, because a lot of quarterbacks will try to put this on the back shoulder. He knew it was coming, did a great job defending, and you saw the personal foul with the hands to the face mask.
So 2 penalties, offensive pass interference and the face mask. 8 seconds remaining. Seahawks forced back to midfield. Wilson complete. They gain 10 on the completion to Lockett. And now they send out the field goal unit with 3 seconds on the clock. Jason Myers' career long is a 58-yarder. And this will be a 58-yard attempt. The longest field goal ever here at Heinz Field, Rondé, 53 yards.
I knew you would know that. And I saw Myers down here kicking before pregame, actually kicking this direction, and he was good from 62. So see what he got here.
From 58, from the left hash, Myers' kick is no good. Wide to the left.
Texans. Okay, we got the 3rd quarter underway in the Houston-Jacksonville game, and Deshaun Watson put it on the ground momentarily.
Josh Allen was crashing quickly in the backfield.
It almost looked like that little fake mesh point between Deshaun Watson and Carlos Hyde got a little too tight, and that ball hits the left hand of Carlos Hyde and just comes out.
A loss of 6 on the play, and they give Allen a sack, which is the first of his career, and the 8th straight game, at least 4 sacks against Deshaun Watson. 2nd and 16. Off the leg of Watson, ball is free, kicked around, and the Texans fall on it. It's Titus Howard. It looked like the snap from Nick Moore.
Jags had a shot at it. Houston's offense just imploding. A game rewind, though, was a positive play. DeAndre Hopkins making the catch against Jalen Ramsey. 5 catches for 40 yards for D-Hop.
Doing that. Thanks for doing this.
Okay, thanks, guys.
All right.
$33 million contract extension this week. The Texans center, but the last 2 plays have lost 16 yards now, and it's 3rd and 26. The Texans will play it safe here, hand it off to Duke Johnson, who has some room to run and still going. And Johnson all the way out to the 40. A 19-yard pickup, but still short.
Green Bay and Minnesota right before the half. 3rd and 16. Rodgers rolling right like he wants to heave it and can't find anyone. Now watch at the end of the play here. Incomplete. Rodgers looking back. Rodgers yelling either at a receiver or the sideline. Let's take a look here. Who's he talking to? That's Matt LaFleur, the head coach. Rodgers having a discussion after the incomplete pass. Rodgers has thrown 2 touchdown passes for 151 yards on 16 of 22.
And again, that's twice now that Fitzpatrick has been thwarted.
Well, Bill is consistent. Very consistent.
Talkative.
2nd and 10. Play fake, Fitzpatrick. Wow. That did not work. I mean, when Ballage is ducking, that's not a good sign.
What's he expect? The ball is coming to him. Does he think there's somebody behind him? I mean, this is unbelievable. really doesn't know the pass route here. Hey, if you have time to duck, you have time to reach up and catch it.
It is 3rd and 10. Dolphins had 2 first downs in the first half.
1 of 6 converting third downs in that first half.
Fitzpatrick is 4 of 10 for 38 yards through the air. 15-year veteran throws it on 3rd and 10. Lofts it, tipped and intercepted. Devin McCourty with the pick. Patriots take over.
A tremendous play by Gilmore as he keeps Parker from that ball. The reaction by McCourty. And another big play by the defense. But look how high Gilmore had to go with his right hand to knock that ball away from Parker.
23rd career INT for the 10-year veteran. McCourty voted team captain for the 9th time.
And Fitzpatrick has now thrown interceptions for 8 different teams. An NFL record.
Shotgun for Brady. Brady tosses incomplete. Josh Gordon, the intended receiver. Gordon has not registered a catch.
7 of the 10 games on the National Football League schedule here are at the half, including at Nissan Stadium. Halftime ceremony, the great Eddie George and Steve McNair having their jerseys retired by the Tennessee Titans. Number 27 and number 9 will hang in the rafters forever. Steve McNair's family there, Eddie George accepting the award as well. Nice moment at Nissan Stadium in Nashville.
2nd and 10. Gordon and Brown in there together. Brady is sacked. Could not break away from Vince Beagle.
Now Beagle just came over from the New Orleans Saints, but you can see the pass distribution for the first half for Brady. Brown has 4, Dorsett 3, Edelman 2, Burkhead, Lacoste, and White 1 each.
But Brady now facing a 3rd down. 3rd and 12. Dime package here for Miami. Brady pump and throw. Finds the open man. It is Josh Gordon working the sideline, and he's got a first down. 14 yards.
Now let's check out his route. He's got a huge amount of cushion here by the defensive backs on that side. Xavier Howard giving a lot of ground there, expecting his safety to come over and take the short flat. Brady read it perfectly. Gordon has his first catch.
Gordon reinstated by the NFL after being suspended in December for violating the league's substance abuse policy. First down, quick hitter to the outside. It's Gordon, makes one man miss and bangs his way inside the 20. When we asked Brady about Gordon, he said he is genuinely excited to be back and playing the game, and it shows every day. Practice, meetings, walkthroughs.
His potential is unlimited in a lot of different ways because of his size and his ability to run after the catch. Another missed tackle by the Dolphins, something that Patrick Graham, defensive coordinator, said they must improve upon. We've seen a number of missed tackles, but Gordon does that to defenders all the time.
A year ago, that grabbed the headlines when they acquired him from Cleveland for a 5th-round pick. Brady looking for Brown. Incomplete. Jamal Wilson coverage for Miami.
And 16 plays now for Antonio Brown, and maybe just a...
Okay, Dallas and Washington going into the second half. 4th play of the 3rd quarter. Bootleg by Dak hits Michael Gallup on the run. 12-yard catch there for Gallup. First down, Dallas up 7.
So now it's 3rd and 5. Josh McDaniels in his 19th year with the Patriots organization.
What an incredible job he has done every year, it seems.
James White, limited role so far. 3rd and 5. Brady pulls the trigger, tosses it to White, and he gets enough for the first down. So we'll roll under 10 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter.
That's just vintage Tom Brady. You can't really double team a running back out of the backfield. They have so many other targets to throw the ball to. White so dangerous in the red zone. This is why he was an MVP of a Super Bowl.
First down, Patriots. The give is to up the middle for Sony Michel.
Into the second half between the Bolts and the Lions. Watch this play. Just happened a second ago. 3rd and 7. Stafford's going to scramble. Does he slide or doesn't he slide? Kinda. No. Yes. And he gets bumped by a defender, and they throw the flag. He was not in a full slide. They're going to call unnecessary roughness on the hit against him. I'm waiting for... did they pick it up? They actually picked up that flag. You know what? They threw the flag, discussed it, and they picked it up. Probably heard us talking right here in the Red Zone studio.
Should say to Tennessee. Brady. Bounced off the hand of Howard. There is a long list for Bill Belichick. 11 and 10 against his former assistants when they became head coaches. 4 and 4 in the first meetings, but 2 and 0 in the playoffs. Losses to Al Groh, Jim Bates, Josh McDaniels, and Matt Patricia on the first head-to-head.
Patriots are on the move. The Dallas Cowboys are on the move. Stoppage there in the New England-Miami game. Let's show you the replay of what just happened here. Pass by Dak down inside of the red zone. Amari Cooper on the catch.
So sometimes the guy who gets the ball, he's getting it because his teammate gave of himself. That's the reason I drew there. Because did you see what Devin Smith did? Just sat down in that gap, and all of a sudden he's got 2 defenders with him. And now Cooper comes behind him with clear space and becomes the open man.
It's amazing. Devin Smith was, you look down, he's the 5th wideout on this team. Tavon Austin inactive today. Has concussion symptoms, so he's not playing. We thought we'd see Cedric Milson more, but Smith, again, we told you hadn't had a catch since 2016, has been a factor here today with a 51-yard score. Here's Prescott on 2nd down, and over the middle, it's caught for a touchdown, and it's Cooper for 6. That was too easy. 20 unanswered for the Dallas Cowboys.
This is 3rd and 7. Brown is on the outside. Edelman, the motion man. Operating out of the gun. Brady looks for Brown. Knocked away. Eric Rowe recovered. Brown thought he had a touchdown.
That's 3 straight attempts. Brady trying to get the ball to Brown, and this one, Brown has the guy beat.
Wow, Antonio Brown has, I think, 4 targets in the end zone in this game, including the one that he caught for a touchdown. Look at this play by Kenny Golladay. That's a great catch on the sideline. Penalty flag came in. It was against the Chargers and declined. A 28 yard. Yeah, it was 27 yards on the catch by Golladay. The field goal is good. Stephen Gostkowski missed an extra point earlier in the game, and it's now a 16-point lead for the Patriots in Miami. No one in the red zone at the moment. We've got the Niners into the 3rd quarter now. First minute of the second half here, up 24-10 in Cincinnati.
Yeah, he's going up against Hubbard right here, and I want to take a look at this because I thought his hands were inside of the framework. There's Staley going up against Sam Hubbard. Now let's take a look, see where that hold is. Inside. You know what? Okay, I see this right here. See if you can get rid of that and drop that hand. Even if you get there initially, drop that hand back inside. Sometimes you're able to avoid the penalty.
We have not heard much from this Cincinnati pass rush today. Considered to be by many their front four as good as anybody around the NFL, with Atkins and Dunlap and the emergence of Hubbard along with a healthy Andrew Billings.
Here's why, because a strong play action game slows down an active pass rush.
Breaking it to the outside again. Huge running room and a big-time block delivered by Kittle. Springing three.
Oh, we just had a crazy play in the Lions-Chargers game. It's a 1st and 15. They're going to throw to the end zone. Stafford going to Kenny Golladay. The ball ricochets and intercepted. But you see all the flags in the end zone? Offensive pass interference against Kenny Golladay. When you see the replay, this is why it was a crazy play. Casey Hayward will intercept it. Look at Galladay's playing defensive back, rips down Hayward, but then bats the ball into his chest. This is amazing. Hayward staying with it, and then Golladay swiping at the football to try and knock it down, knocks it into the shoulder and the chin of Casey Hayward for one of the wilder interceptions of the first 2 weeks of the regular season. How about that? The officials got it correct. Obvious offensive pass interference declined by the Chargers. Casey Hayward with the INT.
The result of the play is a touchback.
Yeah, good job right there. Okay, back to Cincinnati. It's going to be a 1st and goal for Raheem Mostert, Jimmy G, and the 49ers.
Just one correction there. Again, the ability to line people up. Mostert was lined up as a wide receiver. They cleared out with him and ran the underneath route and give him the ball.
And he picks up the yard on 1st down and goal. 49ers trying to tack 7 more on the board.
They felt they could come in here.
Look what just happened in the Texans-Jags game. 1st and 10, shotgun, a pass for Deshaun Watson. He's got all day, and Jalen Ramsey dropped what, I don't know if it would have been a pick 6, but he would have run for quite a while with a head of steam right in his waist, and he cannot squeeze it. Missed opportunity for Ramsey.
By Juszczyk, they're going to throw it. And to the end zone, wide open. It is a touchdown for the rookie Samuel. And for Samuel, that is his first career NFL touchdown. He's on his way to a 100-yard receiving game today.
Remember the first touchdown pass? Reed Juszczyk, he'll tell you if it's run or pass. Look at him work outside. John Ross is just working into the flat. You have a miscommunication with Dre Kirkpatrick. He looks back at the guy saying, if you have a threat for the zone.
Okay, coming up on a red zone drive for Marcus Mariota. In fact, there he finds his man. It's going to be 1st and goal after the Corey Davis catch from Mariota. Titans on the move.
Titans going right at Pierre Desir. It's a pickup of 26.
And Desir a little bit late to get to his feet, as the medical and athletic trainers onto the field quickly for the Colts. Desir, their starting corner. 6th season, came over from...
Let's go to the Giants. Injury timeout there in that Indianapolis, Tennessee game. Come back to MetLife Stadium, where the Buffalo Bills have opened their season at MetLife Stadium. Week 1, Buffalo went to the Jets, MetLife Stadium, and beat New York. Today at MetLife, trying to beat the Giants.
Manning, 9 of 19, 74 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. You start thinking, okay, is this the time that we want to see him? Daniel Jones went in as Saquon Barkley catches it out of the backfield. But is this the time you want to see Daniel Jones come into the game? A week ago, they put him in at the end of the game when the game was already out of hand.
So after the interception by the Chargers, Phillip Rivers back to work, fakes it to Austin Eckler, then throws it to Austin Eckler. Blockers out in front, and he outran a couple of the blockers there, but still gets 25 yards on the screen pass. He's got 27 rushing and 61 receiving yards. Also has that touchdown. By the way, the Chargers over the last 2 years are 5-0 without Melvin Gordon.
Barkley has the 1st down out to midfield. And if you make that change right now, what is the message to the team?
If you make the change right now, then he's your guy the rest of the way. Because this game is still 21-7. You got the ball at midfield.
Legal formation, offense. Number 18 was covering eligible receiver. Number 83, 5-yard penalty. Replay, third down.
So they'll take away the first.
We have a developing situation out of Pittsburgh. Ben Roethlisberger is out of the game. This was a play from the first half. Takes a shotgun snap, throws the ball, and then grabs the elbow immediately. We are being told it is a right elbow injury. His return is questionable. On the right side of the double box, Mason Rudolph is in and quarterbacking the Pittsburgh Steelers. Remember, Pittsburgh just traded Josh Dobbs, who was their backup quarterback just this last week. So young Mason Rudolph is quarterbacking the Steelers in a 3-point game.
First pass attempt incomplete. He was looking for Connor.
Randy Fichtner did tell us, Josh Dobbs goes to Jacksonville. He did tell us that, hey, look, Mason Rudolph.
We'll keep an eye on Pittsburgh and Mason Rudolph, but back to the Titans drive, 1st and goal inside the 5.
12 and 13, 2 and 3 tight end sets haven't worked in the first half.
Here's the handoff to Henry. Touchdown.
Jacksonville on Monday.
You just got to wonder if that elbow had been hurting Ben all day long and just started to materialize late in that half.
Third down and 8 as that pass bounced away from Moncrief and then was picked off on the deflection by Bradley McDougald.
Well, great play by Bradley McDougald on the ricochet, but Dante Moncrief must catch the ball.
4 drops last week, and now he lets that one get away, and it leads to an interception.
Well, these are the ones you love to get from a safety coming from the middle of the hole. It's just floating, just waiting for you. But there is no reason a veteran receiver of his caliber. We heard Ben talk.
Boy, Dante Moncrief having a struggle to begin the 2019 season last week and this week. Larry Fitzgerald from the young #1 overall draft pick. Just a rainbow shot there, and Fitzgerald tracks it in. He wasn't touched down, so he gets back up, goes for a 40-yard completion. Kyler Murray has 232 yards passing. Fitz has 4 catches for 50 yards. Arizona is now in the red zone. Let's pick up the drive live. 1st and 5.
Murray pumps, rolls underneath. Again, the tight end, this time Charles Clay. So the tight ends didn't have any catches in the first half. Now back-to-back, he goes Williams.
Little game rewind presented by Amazon Prime. This was right after the Larry Fitzgerald catch. Max Williams catches it. The tight end goes for 21 yards from Murray.
Quality tight end receiver throughout his years playing in the league. Kingsbury's got to get the tight ends more involved in the offense. Got to get the running backs more involved in the offense to keep some balance.
Third time Arizona's been inside the 10. No touchdowns yet. And this gets them a little bit closer.
Okay, got a Chargers update here. Now, this play is going to be called back by penalty. It's going to be called back by penalty, but we show you Austin Eckler. The screen game's really working for the Chargers. It's holding against the Chargers. I told you it was going to be called back. I just wanted to show you this. There were 2 Charger would-be touchdowns that were called back by penalty on this drive. That Eckler one, and then Justin Jackson had a rushing touchdown that was called back by penalty.
To a 3-year deal, $9 million. After the first year, they told him bye.
Murray looking end zone. No. In the direction of Fitzgerald, but no shot. Carr on the coverage.
Great job by Baltimore here. They're going to have an in-and-out coverage. Brandon Carr is going to stay on his outside. They tried to fake like they're going to run the slip screen and try to get Larry out to the flat. Tyler makes a big decision. Great decision there by not trying to force it. Throw it away. I still got 3rd and goal. Give my team.
We got to go to the triple box here. It looks like the Chargers upper right will get the next snap off here. Chargers red zone, Cardinals red zone, Washington red zone. Phillip Rivers takes the snap, backpedals, throws, and Keenan Allen with an attempt, but he can't get it. Kyler Murray doesn't like what he sees. Bottom of the screen. Look at the bottom of the screen. It's Case Keenum on a 1st and goal. Chris Thompson, the intended target. It goes incomplete. Check the flag in the Lions game.
Pass interference. Defense number 23. Because the penalty occurred in the end zone, the ball is placed at the 1-yard line, automatic first down.
And Thompson remains in the game. McLaurin back in there too. He's matched up against Byron Jones. On the bottom of your screen. Second and goal. Keenum looking that way, goes over the middle instead, where it's caught by Richardson, diving forward, touchdown.
Two tight ends, Eckler in there, first and goal, a leap again and trying to go in. Uh-oh, big hit, loose ball. It's Detroit's Paul coming up with it. Javon Kennard. That was an ill-fated drive, 2 touchdowns by the Chargers.
Quick throw. Too far. Trying to get Fitzgerald toward the back pylon. And now 4th down comes up.
And I think clearly this thing gets punched out on the goal line.
Tavai knocked it away.
Anytime you run the fade from the slot, if my guy's in bump, I'm not going to make it to the back pylon. I'm only going to make it probably 4 yards deep in the end zone. He thinks when we run it on air, he's going to the back pylon, but no. You have to give time for the wide receiver to be able to get off the release, and that was the miscommunication between him and Larry Fitzgerald. Well, anytime it's Larry and Kyler, you pretty much got to blame it on Kyler.
And now flags come in here before the field goal attempt. We know who you're protecting out there.
Well, I mean, it is what it is.
That one was obvious.
Yeah, one guy's got 1,300 catches.
All right, Seahawks trying to turn the Steelers' turnover into points. And, did the Ravens just give the Cardinals a first down? Well, the Seahawks just got a touchdown.
Well, there's my guy. That was me predicting that Disley was going to get the next catch. But this Pittsburgh defense decides to bring pressure again. And I believe it's I believe it's Devin Bush.
The coach staff is not happy. They're going to get that correct.
But still a field goal attempt. So Gonzalez is hit from 22 and 21, and now another chip shot from 21 again. And the same result. He has all 9
Cardinals score in the red zone. You just saw that the Seahawks scored in the red zone. Guess who else is back in the red zone? New England with a touchdown here can open it up against the Dolphins.
11 yards on the hookup.
Now, we talked a lot about Dorsett today. Josh McDaniels told me that's an illegal play right there. That's a pick. And that should be challenged by Brian Flores. That would wipe out this play, but this clearly is a pick by Josh Gordon to free Dorsett on the out route. You got a red flag in your pocket. Throw it, coach.
I think he knows it is a pick. There's just nothing he can do about it. And they're going to toss it.
That's offensive pass interference.
That's the way they're going to call it. That's what he's asking for. You know, it's funny. You think of the traditional PIs, and it's usually, contact between the receiver and the defender. And this is taking it in a different direction.
A gap to his left, right next to
We'll watch that New England drive come back here to the Titans and the Colts just for a moment.
And so that's easy. He's just going to take that gap, and a guy with the stature of Brissett can pick up that first down easy on the quarterback sneak.
You see what they did with their ground game last week. Mack had 153 of those rushing yards in the second half as they forced overtime before coming up short. Here is Doyle. That'll be another Indianapolis first down. So a good drive here as they try to answer the Titans scoring drive. A pickup of 13 and another first down.
It's a really nice job by Brissett getting pressure here. So he's just going to get up and dump it to the outside to his left. He senses the pressure from line, good pass protection, and he knows exactly where to go. Jack Doyle alone in the flat to pick up another first down.
Yeah, 426. 31. Let's go.
118. Set. Little misdirection play. Tennessee was not fooled. It's Evans. Able to blow up Mack as the Colts lose 3.
Oh, this is called key and diagnose. Right up the gut. Rashaan Evans, the second-year player, first-round pick, 22nd overall, And that's how you get aggressive. See the guard pull, hit your gap, and make a play in the backfield. Outstanding by number 54.
Evans, the first-round pick out of Alabama last year, started slowly as a rookie after missing most of training camp. But boy, did he come on strong down the stretch, became a key piece. Brissett, pump fakes, football's loose. What's the ruling here? Tennessee football.
I think the ball just slipped out of his hand, didn't it?
Well, these guys have worked up a lot of perspiration in this heat. It was Harold Landry who fell on the football.
So here's the question, Spiro. Was his arm going forward?
Well, it certainly was going forward. Then he pulled it back. This will be interesting here.
Yeah, this is a tight one here. He's saying that the ball was going forward. This is the old, kind of like a tuck rule, I guess, right?
Yeah, once he brings it back, that incompletion scenario goes out the window. So that a fumble recovered.
Tavon Austin. Well, yeah, his arm was going forward. The ball went backwards. Even if they say that was a pass, it would be a lateral and therefore a live football for Tennessee to recover. We'll see if they review it. Cowboys football converting a 2nd and 1 into a fresh set of downs in Washington territory. Let's go back to Miami. We just had the call overturned, but New England still right around the red zone in South Florida.
What'd you see on the play, Gene?
By rule, contact initiated by an offensive receiver more than a yard down the field, which this is, and then a forward pass occurring results in offensive pass interference in this scenario. And let's remember, 2 of these plays that we've talked about, they were no calls on the field. At some point then, the command center in New York, who is ruling on this to decide what rises to a level to create a foul, that is what is happening when we have a no call on the field. And now we have one play earlier where they didn't think it was enough to rise to pass interference, and in this scenario they do. So we do have a level of what they believe is clear and obvious, and we've seen this kind of in this game in 2 different plays.
Well, I think it's developing, Gene. That's part of it. The wrinkle here, obviously the fact that it was something that Brian Flores could trigger with his own challenge. And while I completely understand that the previous one that we talked about was from upstairs and they determined that they didn't see anything, this one, Brian Flores made a clear point what it was they needed to look for. On a 1st and 20, Brady. Quick strike, Julian Edelman. So they get all the yardage back after New England was called.
Wow, 1st and 20, and it's going to be a 2nd and 1 after that Edelman catch. Bad snap. Aaron Rodgers has it on the ground, bottom of the pile. The Minnesota Vikings have recovered, so a turnover by Green Bay.
18 yards on a zip from Brady to Edelman.
Brady now over 200 on the day, 17 of 24, 205, and a touchdown. 29 plays in Miami territory. 2nd and 2.
Mason Rudolph and the Steelers down inside of the 20. You've got a toss pitch to James White. That's actually Sony Michel. Misidentified him there. Michel gets a 1st and goal, New England. Mason Rudolph in for the injured Ben Roethlisberger. First chance to score points for the young man out of Oklahoma State.
Second and 10, 16-yard line. Rudolph can't find anyone, rolling right. Hits Connor out of the backfield, and he's met immediately.
Pittsburgh in the red zone, Dallas in the red zone, New England in the red zone. Tom Brady, handoff up the middle. Is Sony Michel
extends.
And no signal just yet.
Patriots want a touchdown.
Pittsburgh will have a 3rd down inside the 20-yard line. Dallas ready for a 1st and goal. Young Kellen Moore, the new play caller for the Dallas Cowboys, lauded after his Week 1 performance, looking for another touchdown here in Week 2. No touchdown for the Patriots. It's not Ezekiel Elliott, the backup running back for the Dallas Cowboys, goes in for the touchdown. The young man, the rookie, Tony Pollard. who shined in preseason for Dallas, as Pittsburgh is not going to pick up the down to gain, but Dallas wave off the Dallas touchdown. A holding on the Dallas Cowboys takes off the Tony Pollard touchdown. We'll bounce around to all three of these games here, and you see that the Steelers are going to attempt a field goal, we would assume, on this next play. I believe it is 4th down now for Pittsburgh.
He's holding on all the way through the tackle.
It's KJ Wright.
That is perfect. He still got a hold of it. Oh, man.
So now here's Boswell out to attempt a 33-yard field goal from the right hash. Boswell's kick straight through.
All day. Going far side. He's got a completion to Pollard and gets down to the 10. He's wrestled down by Sean Dion Hamilton, and that may be the end of the 3rd.
They're going up there quickly. Want to see if Dallas wants to continue to put pressure on them. They're going to hold Washington's defensive players out there. Can't make a change when they go this quickly at the line of scrimmage.
10 seconds left in the quarter.
What is it? What is it?
Apparently they didn't know what it is.
I think they were trying to get them to jump, and it may have been Dallas who jumped themselves.
False start. Offense, number 52. 5-yard penalty. It's 2nd down.
So not sure if they would try.
So the Niners would stall and have to settle for a 38-yard Robbie Gould field goal attempt, and that's good again. He's put up a couple on the day. It is a 24-point lead for San Francisco in Cincinnati. The Titans are going to attempt a long one here. 49-yard attempt is good. 17-13 now. Tennessee takes the lead. All right, let's go to the scoreboard here right now. You are caught up on every touchdown from every game to this point. New England and Miami is in a commercial break right now. The Dallas and Washington game is in a TV timeout as well. When Dallas resumes, it'll be the start of the 4th quarter. When New England resumes, still 2.5 left after the official review. The Patriots have made their challenge, and we're going to get the announcement from Bill Vinovich coming up in just a few seconds.
Of game tackling. Good effort there.
Tracy Walker makes the stop, upended. The running back Jackson. 2nd down and 8. Nickel secondary. Rivers through the air, 14 and 23, 2:08.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. It'll be 2nd and goal. New England's charged with their first timeout.
Gene's territory with us.
21 and picks up 5.
We've been talking about both of these running backs, Justin Jackson and Austin Eckler. I think both benefited from Melvin Gordon's absence in the spring. And
that we can visibly see does show us that it doesn't look like any body parts down when the ball breaks the plane. However, almost from his waist back to his feet, which are his legs from the knee behind, we can't tell if his legs did or didn't touch. So they have to stay with the ruling on the field of stands.
False start. Offense number 74.
And New England
Clearly, though, a better team with than without. 3rd and 3. Rivers, they got by Tevin. That's incomplete. Green was maybe the target of a frustrated Rivers, who maybe thought he was going to cut this way, and he cut that way. It's 4th and 3. They'll try for 3.
you watch Trey Flowers up top. He's able to get in there and get Rivers on the ground. They've been
5 yards, takes him from an inch away from the goal line back to the 5.
So that changes the play selection here. Now 2nd and goal for New England. Edelman in motion. Brady looks.
Glances. And it is no good. Hits the upright.
You know, these two went after each other in practice for a number of years. Edelman is grabbed right there, the left arm around the waist by Rowe.
It'll be 1st and goal Patriots. Washington and Dallas has just resumed. And it's Sean Hochuli, the referee on the right side of the screen, announcing that it'll be holding against the Cowboys. So this drive that at one time produced a touchdown has been called back a couple times by Dallas Cowboy penalties. The Miami Dolphins penalty gives a 1st and goal for the New England Patriots. We'll bounce back and forth, Pats and Cowboys offenses.
Now New England facing a 1st and goal. Tom Brady. He's got it. Touchdown.
Prescott. Time over the middle. It's caught by Gallup again. He's got a long way to go. Breaks the tackle on another, but he's going to come up shy. Get down to the 6. And now a 4th and goal, and with a 7-point lead, here comes the field goal team. So the Washington defense at least does their job and holds here.
That's what they were counting on, being able to hold up 3rd down there and not go give him an extra down to try and make things happen. There's Witten on the outside. It looks like he's open with Rogers Camardi looking back at the quarterback, but there was a little pressure in Dak's face. Remember, he had to drop sidearm to deliver that one, so he needed to get rid of it.
So this will be a 25-yard field goal from Brett Maher. Snap and hold are good. The kick is up and good, but there is a penalty flag. And let's see on the penalty here. Redskins may have been offsides.
Right there's the jump. Getting there initially off the edge. That's Jimmy Moreland, the rookie out of James Madison.
And so, talking to Jason Garrett, would you take points off a board when you're up by 10?
I would not here in this situation because...
Offside. Defense. That penalty's declined. The field goal is good.
It doesn't get you... If it gets you inside...
Yeah, so we can step away from the Cowboys game right now. Jason Garrett says keep the points on the board. It's a 2-possession lead for the Dallas Cowboys. Close game here of all field goals between Houston and Jacksonville. One of the great players in the game just made a big play, and now Houston is set up with a red zone opportunity. I'll show you that big play in just a moment.
20th straight game with a turnover by Jacksonville. Hyde cuts it back. Hyde at the 5, and Hyde is taken down at the 3-yard.
Game rewind presented by Amazon Prime. It was J.J. Watt. Last week, J.J. Watt, no sacks, no tackles. It was the first time in over 100 games that J.J. Watt did not factor into the box score of an NFL game. But 99, the former Defensive Player of the Year, comes up with the fumble recovery to set up Deshaun Watson and the Texans for a great chance to score the game's first touchdown.
Long one.
2 tight ends on the heavy side here.
Hyde. And Hyde, I don't think he got there. Jaguars defense indicating it's 4th down. Calais Campbell, the first to greet Carlos Hyde. And now let's see how Bill O'Brien plays this one.
Yeah, the decision was already made. As soon as that ball was run into the line of scrimmage, I saw Bill O'Brien looking down on his play sheet, going for the next short yardage play.
And an injured Texan slow to get up. It's the left tackle, Laramie Tunsil. And Tunsil acquired in a trade with the Dolphins last week. Still living in a hotel, he told us on Friday. He kind of likes it there. They doesn't have to clean up after himself. Goes to practice.
All right, during the injury timeout, I got a red alert. We had some plays happen a couple minutes ago, some things that we really want to show you because you could be talking about it on Monday. Kirk Cousins in the 11-point deficit at Lambeau Field. Takes the home run shot. Stephon Diggs, touchdown, Minnesota. 45 yards on the touchdown. He takes off his helmet. That's a 15-yard penalty. It made the extra point extremely long, and the extra point was blocked. So 21-16 is the lead for Green Bay, but it's a 1-possession game there at Lambeau. Mason Rudolph. It's a flea flicker. Connor back to Rudolph. Deep downfield. Juju. Smith. Schuster. 45-yard catch on the flea flicker. James Conner back to Mason Rudolph to Juju Smith-Schuster. Rudolph is 3 of 6 for 46 yards, so not a lot else except for that Juju catch. That led to the Pittsburgh field goal. And then Seattle answers right back. Rashad Penny with Russell Wilson throwing blocks downfield. The quarterback hustles to get Penny into the end zone, so the Steelers get a field goal. The Seahawks answer with a touchdown. Seattle's up 21-13 coming up towards the end of the third quarter. And now back to Houston, 4th and 1. The offense is still on the field.
Johnson, the running back. QT in motion. Watson rolling right. Watson takes it upfield, cuts back. Can he get in? He can! Touchdown! What a run by Deshaun Watson! His 9th career rushing touchdown. That's a new franchise record for a quarterback, breaking a tie with David Carr.
In the condensed area,
first touchdown of the game between the Texans and the Jags, and Houston, the reigning division champion in the AFC South, goes up. They can go up by 10 points here with a good extra point. Meanwhile, the Ravens in a one-possession game. 1 minute remains in the third quarter here. Let's check back in on Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore O.
Corey Peters head off to the locker room. They empty the backfield. Jackson fires a fastball, incomplete, intended for Boyle. Try to fit that in between 3 red shirts.
Well, you know who's looked impressive so far here today? How about the San Francisco 49ers? Cincinnati stood toe-to-toe with Seattle last week, so I don't think that they're a bad team necessarily. But San Francisco's putting it to them. And George Kittle, one of the tight ends who means business in this league. How about a 36-yard catch and powerful run for Kittle? Garoppolo just shy of 300 passing yards now. Jimmy Garoppolo, 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Niners with a big lead in Cincinnati.
Jackson takes off, lost his towel, but keeps his feet all the way down to the 5. The football rolled forward, but he was down. Right around the line to gain.
Yeah, ruling on the field down by contact. Let's look at the replay here. It is, yeah, definitely down by contact. Lamar Jackson sets up a 4th and short. That Niners team I was just telling you about with the 24-point lead, they say, hey, Scotty, we'd like to extend that by 7 more. They are knocking on the door here. They're going to go to the 4th quarter in Cincinnati. Yeah, we're not going to get another snap off there between the Bengals and the Niners. So bookmark that game. 4th and short, offense on the field for Baltimore.
Flags come in. They didn't get a timeout.
Late game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. It's 4th down.
Goes without saying, you just can't do that in that spot.
It's a hard situation. I'm not going to make an excuse for him, but when he fumbled and the ball goes through the end zone, all that little time, they had already started the play clock. So by the time they got back to the huddle, they didn't have a full 24. He didn't recognize as a young quarterback they had a motion. He should have lined the guy up where he's supposed to be. He lined up left and was going to go zoom motion. Just make him go over to the right and line up, and then we get an attempt to convert that one. Now we got to settle for 3 if we're able to convert this.
I was waiting also for the sideliner, John Harbaugh, to call the timeout, but none came in.
Absolutely. Save the kid in there.
And we've hit zeros at the end of the third quarter.
All right, so the Baltimore Ravens go to the end of the third quarter. That means 8 of the 10 games are into or beginning the fourth quarter. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the witching hour of week number 2, when losses become wins and wins become losses. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. 10 games, 1 possession contests in Nashville, in Detroit, in Green Bay. It's a close game there in Baltimore. It is a 10-point lead for Houston in Houston, and Pittsburgh and Seattle in a 1-possession game as well. New England and San Francisco have solid leads. The Cowboys are up by 2 possessions. Buffalo is up by 2 possessions. You'll still see every touchdown from every game here on NFL Red Zone. in and through the fourth quarter. Update on the Chargers offense, 3rd and 2 moments ago. Phillip Rivers, Mike Williams having himself a nice day. Williams with another catch there. He had the big one right before the half. How about an 18-yard catch on that one? He has just those 2 catches, though, but 65 yards receiving for the Chargers, who hold on to that 4-point lead. All right, where are we going to here live, guys? No one live in the red zone that's out of commercial. Let's keep on this Charger drive.
Eckler looking for a block. Delivered by Allen. Opens up a door. Tavai makes the stop. He's down to the 28 on a gain of 4.
The Lions have to find a better way, a more efficient way to affect Phillip Rivers in the pocket. The pressure's just simply not getting home. And Matt Patricia may start thinking about bringing some 5- and 6-man pressures. You've got to get Phillip Rivers off the spot.
And you've talked all game long about how good he is in a muddy pocket.
And the thing that affects Rivers more than anything, Kevin, is pressure and push up in his face. He doesn't have great lateral quickness from side to side. And these guys inside have got to do a better job getting some push up inside on Rivers.
Never want to get pushed in the face. 2nd down and 6. Eckler, Feeney will pull. Reeves Maben can't get him, and he is tripped up as he was turning the corner, and Quandre Diggs is there, gain of 4. Rich.
3rd and short upcoming there for Los Angeles. Start of the fourth quarter here for San Francisco. They're trying to extend to a very big lead.
And they will tack on yards and points as Wilson into the end zone on the opening play of the fourth quarter.
Remember, I talked about follow the poolers. The poolers will take you to the hole. Lakeland Tomlinson does a great job.
San Francisco with a 31-point lead on the road. They're going to have 2 road wins to start the 2019 season. Phillip Rivers is going to throw on 3rd and short, and Rivers throws it away, so you live to see the 4th down. Start of the fourth quarter in Baltimore. Justin Tucker comes out, splits the sticks. Baltimore has an 11-point lead over Arizona, but Arizona came back from double-digit deficit last week. Kyler Murray needs some magic here today. It's the start of the fourth quarter in the Giants-Bills game, and it is a red zone possession for Eli Manning and company. We'll watch the Chargers field goal and then go full to Big Blue.
For the first time all day, the Giants find themselves in the red zone.
Time. Holding Tyrod Taylor, no good. He's missed 2 in a row. And Rivers can't believe it. Long on 4th down.
3rd and 2. Manning throws this side of the field, and the catch is made at about the 11-yard line by Evan Ingram. But it'll bring up a 4th, and let's see where they mark him down. They mark him down at the 15, so it'll be 4th and 1, maybe 4th and 2. Let's see. Let's see where the spot is. 4th and 2.
Yeah, they're keeping the offense on the field, so same frame of mind that I was thinking. But Kevin Johnson with an excellent coverage on that. They tried getting a little rub route and getting to the flat, and he just worked right through it. Came up with the tackle. Here on 4th down, Bills like man-to-man coverage. You can see they've stacked, what is that, 8 defenders within a couple yards of the line of scrimmage.
Manning throwing the slant. That's complete. 1st and goal. Cody Latimer with the catch.
All right, so the Giants will have a 1st and goal upcoming. Let's show you what just happened in the Jags and Texans game. Gardner Minshew, Dede Westbrook, he catches it, but there's a flag that comes in late. They're calling offensive pass interference, and we show you this because Doug Marrone has thrown the red coach's challenge flag. Marrone thinks that there's enough evidence to say Dede Westbrook did not push off. Not sure if we're going to see the replay on this one here, guys, or not. Yeah, here it is. You see for yourself. Dede Westbrook, bottom of the screen. Did he push off there? Doug Marrone has challenged. The pass would be complete if he can get it overturned. Is there enough video evidence?
So you're facing.
We'll take a look at it. We'll see what they decide. Okay, we'll keep an eye on everything for you. Let's go back to the Giants. 1st and goal.
1st and goal from the 6. Saquon Barkley be marked down at the 5-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal. Latimer going into the medical tent.
Well, my guess is that would be concussion protocol when you saw the hit that he took.
Injury timeout momentarily for the Giants. Cardinals back in the red zone. Kyler Murray erased an 18-point deficit last week. He's down 11 in the fourth quarter today.
Play action, dumping it underneath. Touchdown. And he's going to be stopped just shy of the goal line.
Well, I'd say that was a good decision to bring T.J. Jones up and get him involved in the game plan.
Arguably the best Giants receiver in the preseason.
Kirk up over 100 yards, like Fitzgerald is as well. Murray directing traffic. Watch the play clock. Incomplete. Try to go to Damiere Byrd. Flag comes in.
Illegal contact, Baltimore. Defensive back might have got him when the ball was coming.
Pass interference. Defense number 34. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Anthony Averett.
Come back for the automatic first down. Arizona Cardinals, a touchdown there. Make it a one-possession game. Kirk Cousins. Adam Thielen makes the catch. Ruling on the field was a catch. It was challenged to see if it was a catch because the ball looked like it may have been close to the ground or hit the ground. They challenged and upheld the ruling on the field. 30-yard catch for Thielen.
Johnson in, untouched. Well, just like last week, it takes Arizona into the fourth quarter before they get their first score, but they have it, and it makes it yet again a one-possession game.
A lot like last week. How they get it started? Big play to Larry Fitzgerald. He creates the energy. They go down, finish it off with a touchdown drive, which led to more points.
We got a one-possession game in the Arizona-Baltimore contest. Kyler Murray earlier in the drive wings it. How does Larry Fitzgerald get that open? The future Hall of Famer with a 54-yarder. And I'll remind you that it was last week Fitzgerald had a big fourth-quarter catch that excited this Arizona offense. They go for two. Back of the end zone. How did Kyler Murray find his receiver there? Two-point conversion is good. It is a three-point game at M&T Bank Stadium. Meanwhile, at Heinz Field, the Steelers trail the Seahawks. They need a touchdown and a two-point conversion to tie it up. Let's listen in.
Rudolph on first and goal. Finds McDonald, and he takes it in for a Steelers touchdown.
Oh, my goodness, Mason Rudolph. This is a vet move right here. This is just a little screen to Vance McDonald, and Seattle has it dead to rights. There's no way that Vance McDonald sneaks away. He's trying to get a screen in here, but watch the patience of the quarterback. There's no panic here. Not there, not there. Look at this. Bam. That is so well done by Mason Rudolph, and then Vance McDonald finishes the deal with a touchdown.
Looked for half a second like I thought Mason Rudolph was going to throw it away because he didn't think the play was there, and found Vance at the last minute. Rudolph earlier in the drive scrambles for a first down on 3rd and 5, so the young QB in for the injured Ben Roethlisberger. Goes for a 7-yard scramble and then caps it off. Steelers going to go for two to try and tie the game. This is live.
Two-point conversion attempt. Rudolph looking. Now he throws, and it's picked off by Leno Hill, so it remains a two-point game.
Well, he throws an interception in zone, but watch.
And the Dallas Cowboys have just pounded it into the red zone. Cowboys first and goal. We'll listen in at FedEx Field.
And he's played a major role. He certainly has, and he's really starting to coordinate with this quarterback. Miss Oliver, your impressions of that answer that Dak gave you, because as you said, the age of the choke on the cell phone, but he seems genuine, doesn't he?
He's totally sincere. It's not his thing. You know, he wants to be a great player. That's first and foremost. If that Jared Goff money comes around, I'm sure he'll take it, but it's not something of status for him.
First and goal, they'll run it to Elliott, who gets bumped at the 5 and runs inside there. Yeah, I mean, he
gets you right back for second and goal for Dallas after we show you Cairo Santos wide left on a 45-yarder. So keep it at 17-13, a one-possession game in Nashville. We have, what, 6 one-possession games out of the 10 that are going on right now across the National Football League. 2 that are not are both in the red zone. Jags on the right side of the screen, Cowboys on the left.
pretty darn good, too.
Minshew to Fournette, took the check down. Fournette at the 50.
He will run him down to the 2. Look at the day that he's had after the perfect quarterback rating last week. Well, he's done it all.
Sent out his kicker just yet. And now he will. With 6.5 to play. Again, 2-possession game, so you put the points on the board here. Even though it was a good drive and a good rhythm from Minshew, you got to take the points, down by 10.
See all the guys rubbing their jerseys.
Third and goal right here. From the 2. He slips, gives it to Elliott, works his way towards the end zone. Touchdown.
And Lambeau now 2 out of 2 and 4 out of 4 on the season.
Back-to-back weeks of 30-plus points against divisional opponents for the Dallas Cowboys.
So the Dallas Cowboys, who had nothing going on offense in the first quarter plus, have now hung 30 points pending the extra point in Washington.
Patrick sprint out, intercepted, and goodbye. Stephon Gilmore, touchdown on a pick 6. And he burned his former teammate in Buffalo, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Well, that's his 19th career interception, and the first time he's taking one back for a touchdown. Never throw late over the middle, exactly what...
Yeah, the New England Patriots have lost 5 of their last 6 games in Miami. They are not going to lose today. It is 30-0 New England. And Detroit live in Motor City. How about a touchdown for Matthew Stafford that gives the Lions the lead?
Well, they run double post. They run 2 receivers to the post. And this is what you love as a quarterback, a big, lengthy receiver in Galladay, who's 6'4", 215 pounds, that can go up and get it. Great throw by Stafford in the red zone.
Game rewind, we caught the end of the touchdown there. This was the key play on the drive. 4th and 1, Stafford throws for it. Marvin Jones makes a great job. The possession receiver keeps the possession alive. Halfway through the 4th quarter in Detroit, Lions take a 2-point lead. We go back to the 2-point lead for Seattle in Pittsburgh.
The backfield now shifts. Slot to the left. Empty backfield on second down. Wilson over the middle. It is complete. And a surge forward for a first down. Dissly, who has a couple of touchdown receptions today for Seattle, and that quiets the crowd.
Well, Russell Wilson's getting a lot of zone coverage. If you watched Pittsburgh last week against New England, they played almost exclusively man-to-man. This is a different type of game because of the way that Seattle approaches their offense. They like to run the ball. Pittsburgh wants their linebackers to be able to see that. But what it's affording them, Seattle at least, is all this space for these underneath throws, and Russell Wilson is exploiting them right now.
New set of downs, movement, penalty markers. False start.
False start. Number 65, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Effetti's 3rd penalty today. Time for a game break. Kurt.
Seattle on their own side of the 50 will get away from that game for a bit. Lamar Jackson and company are over the 50, trying to extend their 3-point lead with 10 minutes remaining at M&T Bank Stadium.
Fakes the give to Edwards, and that time he misses Mark Andrews. He had him.
When Lamar misses, because sometimes he drops down a little 3/4, and if you throw the ball 3/4, the ball has a chance to sail. It doesn't have the opportunity to get up and down. The prototype quarterbacks throw right over the top. As you can see on this one, he sails it. He's going to keep running on this one. That's 2. 2 that he missed to the tight end. They're going to be inside the 5 or score touchdowns. Let's just see how that continues as far as where his misses are.
We saw his frustration after. Now on 2nd and 10, pressure coming. And he flips that out well above the head of Mark Andrews. So 3rd and 10. Jackson again frustrated.
Didn't have the time to go sit and wait on the routes to develop there. Arizona, Vance Joseph starting to play a lot more man-to-man. Vance Joseph coming over after his 1-year stint. A lot of people in the business believe he didn't get a fair shake there with John Elway in Denver. 2 years there. Last year they were 3-1, and they were talking about getting rid of him. He ends up here. He should help the rookie coach by stabilizing that defense.
From here, it would be about a 56-yard field goal. That'll get him a little closer. Willie Snead, first catch of the game, trying to break free, but he cannot.
Great job by Greg Roman, realizing 3rd and long. We were watching the field goal kicker before, and we know he was almost automatic from 45 to 50. So let's just get a short gain, put him close to his range, around 50, 52. Most accurate kicker ever in the history of the game.
And this will be a 51-yard attempt for Justin Tucker. Either way, though, a win for that Cardinals defense, because if he makes it, they're still only down 6.
We watched him practicing going the other way. He was kicking at 56 yards into the middle of the net. Let's see, because he's into a little wind here.
He says, yeah, I know I'm into the wind. I don't care. No problem.
All right, Ravens cash in, but that is still a 1-possession game, and the Cardinals scored a touchdown on their last offensive possession. We'll monitor Kyler Murray for you. We are looking for teams trailing with the football with the least amount of time available. The least amount of time of all 10 games is right here in Houston. Under 4 minutes in the 4th quarter, Houston has the ball and the lead. We'll watch what Bill O'Brien and the guys can do with it here on 3rd and 19.
See, because you're a little more devious than I am. I'm a little more accepting.
So they wipe the 1st down away. 3rd down and 19. And they're just going to run it. And Duke Johnson. There's the whistle. Quincy Williams hit him first. 4th down.
So the Giants and the Bills, once again, a 1-possession game. And Josh Allen looking. Oh, he shook one would-be pass rusher and then hits John Brown. That's a special-looking play by the 2nd-year quarterback. Allen hits Brown for a 17-yard pickup. Allen has 253 yards passing and a touchdown. The Chargers trail by a field goal with 7 minutes left. They have the football. Keenan Allen just off his fingertips there. No flags on the play.
12 times they have thrown its way. 7 catches for Allen.
Well, this Lions secondary, they've really tightened things up here in the 4th quarter. The coverage has been much better. I thought they really played well in the secondary last week. They forced Kyler Murray to make a lot of contested throws into tight coverage. We're seeing a lot more of that here in the 2nd half from this Lions secondary.
Pretty important game for the Lions. They have the Chargers today, then Philadelphia, the Chiefs, Green Bay, and Minnesota. 3rd and 10. Rivers on the move, needs the 30, and there he goes for the first down, sliding to the 32. Picks up 12. Athletic.
Drive stays alive for the Chargers. We'll come right back there after we dip back in on the blowout of the Patriots, shutting out the Dolphins.
3-0. Fitzpatrick, plenty of time. Bobbled and picked off. Another mistake, and Jamie Collins makes them pay. Touchdown, Patriots.
So the New England Patriots up 37-0. You combine what they're doing today The extra point is good, by the way. 37-0. Combine what they did last week with today. New England, 70. New England's opponents, 3. 2 defensive fourth-quarter touchdowns here for the Pats.
Running 5 years for Rivers. And he was kind of laughing there when he goes, did you see me running? Did you see me running? We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Okay, you saw that injured Lion on the play stops the clock in Detroit. Let's come back to 5.5 minutes remaining in the Tennessee-Indianapolis game. Tennessee trying to take a lead in the AFC South over everyone else. They are trailing, or the Colts have the ball and are trailing, but Indianapolis is loose. The go-ahead touchdown is going to have to wait. It's a 1st and goal for the Colts.
Jordan Wilkins showing the wheels, and it will be 1st and goal, Colts. 55-yard sprint.
Wow, just what we said. The Colts have to make a play. These backers feel in the
1st and goal, Indianapolis. It's 1st and goal, Buffalo, trying to get a score to put them up 2 possessions.
Going nowhere. Lassoed in the backfield by B.J. Hill.
And this thing is out the gate, and the Colts right now are set up in business inside the 5-yard line.
Marlon Mack checks back in. 1st goal.
Pass to the end zone. It's caught. Hilton for the touchdown. They go right at Malcolm Butler, and back come the Colts.
Unbelievable.
Look at this.
2nd and goal. Allen. End zone. Diving incomplete. Intended for Zay Jones. It'll be 3rd and goal. You see Frank Gore in the backfield, Trent. It's hard to believe, but all last season, he did not have a rushing touchdown. The entire 2018 season.
That is hard to believe. And now with the Buffalo Bills, he and Singletary rotating. They tried a hard play fake. They tried catching the Giants. They had him in man-to-man coverage. Just both receivers. Brown doing one way, Jones doing the other.
3rd and goal. Allen.
Washington in the red zone with a 4th down, and it looks like they're going to get a 1st and goal.
It should be a 1st down. It is. It's not a touchdown. Warren tried to surge his way in there. And Dak was hoping that they stopped, and he's like, all right, I guess I'll go sit down again.
Now just act like I was coming over talking to you guys.
Exactly right.
Hey, how's it going? What's happening? But how about McLaurin with another contested catch in traffic?
Yeah, he's been impressive. Keenum looking his way
into a field goal attempt, and the real opportunity was the missed opportunity on 2nd down. That time, not much for Josh Allen in terms of a progression or in terms of finding an open receiver.
Hauschka has never missed a field goal attempt in his career here in MetLife Stadium.
Yep, that was a replay of the 1st and goal. On 1st and goal, it was an incomplete pass for Washington. 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line coming up live.
The 1st down. He doesn't mind going in the briar patch, does he?
No. 2:20 to go. 2nd down and goal.
Vernon Davis has a matchup with a linebacker, Jalen Smith.
They're trying to get McLaurin to score, and they get it to him, and he's got it for the touchdown.
Well thrown ball there by Case Keenum on the back shoulder, and McLaurin adjusted well. Tough to get a play against Byron Jones. He doesn't give up much. You know, last year in 2 games against Washington, he gave up 1 catch. And that's a gorgeous throw right there. And McLaurin, nice concentration. And again, contested, but he pulls it away.
All right, so Washington still a 2-possession game there at home. They'll probably go onside kick. Kyler Murray trailing in the 4th quarter, needing a touchdown just like last week against the Lions. Comes up short, though, this time. That was 3rd and 17, and the Ravens tackle him shy of the yard line to gain, so Arizona punts it back to Baltimore. Adam Vinatieri misses an extra point. Vinatieri had a missed kick last week, had a couple of missed kicks, actually. Vinatieri, the oldest player in the NFL, misses the PAT to keep it a 2-point lead for the Colts. Then Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, and the rookie wide receiver out of Ole Miss catches his first NFL touchdown. It's a 28-yarder from Russell Wilson, who has 3 touchdown passes on the day. Seahawks open up to a 2-possession lead over the Pittsburgh Steelers. This game is 1 possession here with 6 minutes remaining. Goal to go. Any type of a Buffalo score here makes it 2 possessions.
Gore still the deep man in the backfield. Gore again, left side to the end zone for the touchdown.
Okay, Bills do punch it in. Now we've got a 3rd and 5 for the Chargers, needing a field goal to tie this thing up.
Defensive backs. Got the block at the left tackle. Here he comes. He's got the first down. Allen beats Slay again. Down to the 19 of Detroit. 11-yard pickup on 3rd and 5. Chargers will move the chains.
I mean, this is Darius Slay. This is a Pro Bowl corner. And Keenan Allen is just working him. Keenan Allen, one of the best in the business. Getting off the line of scrimmage and really creating separation for Phillip Rivers at the top of his route.
His third down reception today.
Darius Slay was busy looking for Keenan Allen. He's not even in the game.
From the 19, a 1st and 10. Jackson, Feeney pulling. Green a block, and they get by him. Nice play right there. Tracy Walker. Oh, he shot through with a big-time defensive play. The loss to the 23, losing 4.
Really nice job by Walker. He's just going to work through the wash. He's lined up in the box. Good open field tackle on the back.
On this drive, Rivers had a big run for 12. Jackson had a big run of 13. Mike Williams caught one for 18. Moments ago, Allen on 3rd and 5 caught one for 11. Drive started back at the 20. The 12th play coming up. The kicker has been shaky. The Chargers are down by 3. 2nd and 14 when we come back on CBS.
2-minute warning at Ford Field. We'll bookmark it and get you back there. Ravens with the lead and the ball, trying to bleed the clock. They need first downs. Lamar says, I don't like it. Oh, look at that. The high step to get out of bounds. Lamar Jackson, 127 yards rushing, 231 yards passing, and 2 touchdowns, and a fresh set of downs there that's going to take a minute or 2 more off the clock. They want to keep it out of Kyler Murray's hands. The Pittsburgh Steelers now down 2 possessions. It's a 9-point lead for Seattle after the DK Metcalf touchdown. 7 minutes remain here at Heinz Field. Still no Ben Roethlisberger.
Could not convert. There's Connor, who was injured during the last Pittsburgh possession. He's questionable to return with a knee injury.
Well, Pittsburgh must get in that 4-minute type mode. Not quite 2 minutes. They can still take time to call plays. They got to be able to convert on this drive.
Rudolph on 2nd and 3. Catch is made by James Washington. So Mason Rudolph.
The Tennessee Titans trail by 2 points with less than 5 minutes at home against Indy. 3rd and 10. Marcus Mariota. Oh, the receiver, Tajay Sharp. He caught it. Did you see that? Right at the line to gain, and then took a hop back thinking he needed more yardage. Could have fallen forward for the first down. He got 9 instead of 10, and Tennessee has punted it away to Indianapolis. Colts will try and run the clock out with 3.5 minutes remaining. This here in Houston, a 1-possession game between 2 and 0-1 AFC South opponents.
3rd and 9. Minshew throws on the run, completes it to Conley, and that's a Jacksonville first down. Joseph had the coverage, a gain of 12.
You can have coverage for a little while, but when the quarterback is able to escape the initial pressure, to extend the play a little bit, it's hard to cover. You got to make sure you don't hold and grab and do all those bad things down the field.
Ball is at the Houston 45-yard line. 1:11 to go. Minshew to Chark, and another Jacksonville first down. 14 more yards.
Jacksonville with 1 minute and 6 seconds left. They only have one timeout. Gardner Minshew, the 6th-round draft pick in his first NFL start, needs a touchdown to tie the game up. Chargers need a field goal to tie, touchdown to take the lead. But their field goal kicker has missed 2 in this game already.
Looking for blocks, and no one's there, and sifting through. Beautiful defensive play by Condre Dwight.
Up in the face coverage all along the board, and maybe some pressure. I'd expect these guys to actually drop out.
That was his father watching. Minshew to Westbrook, incomplete. And James, you mentioned playing here.
Kevin, they played 86 defensive snaps last week, the most in the NFL. And got to be tired, but they've got to find a way to get off the field on 3rd down.
Well, they've been great on this drive on 3rd down, 3rd and 10. Rivers are on a 12. 3rd and 5. Williams caught 1. 3rd and 5. Allen caught 1 for first downs. Nice balance, 2, 5, and 7. 3rd and 14. They need the 9. Uh-oh, 0 on the clock, on the play clock. Delay a game.
Rivers was press everybody. There's Joseph off.
Merciless coming. Minshew chased by Watt and Merciless. And a dangerous pass is broken up by Joseph. 3rd down and 10. Inside a minute to play.
Things with their kicker. Every yard is critical at this point.
Both these teams went to overtime last week. Chargers won over the Colts. Lions tied in Arizona. 13th play of the drive. The punter, who's being used as a kicker because of an injury, pacing. 13th play, 3rd and 19. They need the 9. Jackson is in. With a block. Rivers deep in. Intercepted. Picked off by Slay. He has been abused all day and comes up with an interception in the end zone of Philip Rivers.
Minshew steps up, and it's incomplete. Conley could not hold on. And now 4th down and 10.
Free release. Give them access. They have a chance to complete it. Incomplete, goes off his hand. 4th down, what do? Do you lay off, or do you line up guys one-on-one and say, hey, let's see if you can beat us at our best?
This is it for Jacksonville. 4th down and 10. They only have 1 timeout remaining.
Man-to-man coverage all across the board.
Fans on their feet. Minshew calling out signals. He's going to keep it himself, and he's got the first down. Slides down around the 10. The mustache not done yet. A gain of 18.
Oh, are you kidding me? Gardner Minshew trying to make game-winning plays and get a road division win. 43 seconds remain there in Houston. The Lions intercept Philip Rivers, but it's not over for Detroit. Chargers still had all 3 timeouts, so they cannot go into victory formation. We are awaiting the Arizona Cardinals to get the football, and Kyler Murray will be coming on the field with under 4 minutes remaining, needing a touchdown to take the lead. We're aware of the Vikings-Packers game as well, but that game still has 7.5 minutes to play. Vikings do have the football in Green Bay territory. Your pressure point is right here in Houston with 43 seconds left.
3 flags on the field.
Might have 12 on defense.
12 players in formation on the defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That is a brutal penalty by the Texans. Just 5 free yards.
We're going to double box into 2 games that involve all 4 AFC South teams. Jacoby Brissett with a 4th and inches. If they run a play here, they can bleed the clock. They are going to go for it. Inches, well, that's going to depend on where the official puts the football down. It looks like they're running in where it would be a first down Indianapolis, and the Colts linemen clap their hands in agreement. That is going to be a first down where he's got his foot down there. Back to Gardner Minshew.
Minshew, pressure coming. Minshew gets away. at the 10. He's still going. 65 yards today through the air and the ground. Deshaun Watson just 165. 2nd and 1. Ball at the 4-yard line. Minshew has time again. Lofts one up. Touchdown! DJ Chark! And the Jags are an extra point away from tying this one up. His dad loves it. What a drive by Minshew. And wait a minute now. Doug Marrone is keeping them out there to potentially go for 2 in the win. Yes, he is.
His quarterback has the hot hand right now. He's been able to throw it where he wants to. He's been able to run it when he needs to. So why not give him a chance to win it on the road?
Going for the win, or at least the lead with 30 seconds to go. Bill O'Brien will call a timeout.
A timeout before a 2-point conversion to potentially win the game. Okay, Seahawks trying to run the clock out, and they fumble in their own territory. It's the first-round draft pick, Devin Bush, trying to score a touchdown to make it a one-possession game, and he fumbles as he's knocked out of bounds. This is a wild, insane play, and they have gone to a booth review in Pittsburgh. Did he fumble? Did he step out of bounds? Did the ball fumble through the end zone? All kinds of things they need to look at in the Pittsburgh-Seattle game, but Seattle still has a 2-possession lead in that game. A 2-pointer for potentially the win with a rookie quarterback on the road.
Working this combination in there, maybe with this guy going up and coming underneath.
They run it up the middle. Fournette, extra effort. And did he get there? No! Fournette is stopped.
Jacksonville gets stopped there. They'll have to go onside kick. The Minnesota Vikings have been trailing to the Packers the entire game, but they're now marching midway through the 4th quarter, just outside the red zone. A Vikings touchdown would give Minnesota the lead.
By Justin Reed, Leonard Fournette is making sure that he doesn't fumble the ball, and he never really sticks it out, because when he does that first initial lunge, if he had extended the ball toward the goal line, I believe he would have gotten it over. But from that angle, you can see the official with this looking down the line. He doesn't think he got it in right there. He kind of pulls it back a little bit right as Justin Reed gets his left hand on the ball.
Carry on 1st down. This is Madison. And stays up. Alexander Madison inside the 10-yard line.
Conversion.
I'd also like to tell you guys that a rule change this year now in the NFL is all tries or automatic booth reviews as well, even though we're inside of 2 minutes.
And at the points of contact, yeah, I don't know how he comes out of it. I mean, Blake Martinez got like 13, 14 tackles today.
A 14-yard run, so it's 1st and goal. Madison last week got into the game and had runs of 23 and 17 yards, and that was a big one. Cook is back in. Cousins, wanted Thielen, throws a Hail Mary. Kevin King, did he come up with it?
They're huddling up. We'll find out.
It was a very unusual throw, and in that corner of the end zone, it's hard to see, but Kevin King went after it, and I can't believe.
Ruling on the field. Ruling on the field is an interception.
I can't believe that Cousins would throw that ball.
In the building.
Here we go.
After reviewing the play, the runner was short. The try is no good.
Took them a while to measure up that 2-point conversion, but they, after the review, ruling on the field stands. Houston holding on to a 1-point lead. Jacksonville will now go for the onside kick. Let's go to, do we have the Pittsburgh play, guys? I'm ready for the Pittsburgh play. We can do the Cincinnati play if we want. Where are we heading to?
Houston Texans.
Okay, here we go. Let's do the Pittsburgh play. After the ruling on the field was confirmed that it was a Devin Bush fumble recovery, right after that, Mason Rudolph, Vance McDonald, a 3-yard touchdown catch. Rudolph has 2 passes for touchdowns. McDonald's caught both of them. It's a 1-possession game again in Pittsburgh. Onside kick here. If Houston recovers, they win the game. But of course we can't do it just cleanly. There will be a whistle to stop the play, and Houston takes their last timeout. Okay, we have time to get somewhere else during the timeout. Every touchdown from every game, including the blowouts, San Francisco put it to Cincinnati from start to finish in this game. But Andy Dalton does come up with a little bit of consolation. John Ross, who's had a nice first 2 weeks of the season, scores a 66-yarder there. Mr. 4-2-2-40 had 112 yards on that touchdown catch, but San Francisco wins the game. The Niners are 2-0. Every touchdown from every game, including the shutout win or shutout apparently for the Patriots. James White from Tom Brady, 10-yard touchdown catch. Brady, 2 touchdown passes on the day, 264 yards passing. Those are all the touchdowns to this point. We're waiting on the onside kick. If Houston recovers, Houston wins the game. It'll be their first win of 2019.
You cannot be contacted until you touch the ball.
Different onside kick this time, up in the air and corralled by Fells. And now all the Texans.
That's ball games. Houston will go to 1-1. Jacksonville will drop to 0-2. We have the drama in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson in the battle of the 22-year-old former Heisman Trophy winning first-round draft pick quarterbacks. Baltimore has a 23-17 lead. The other AFC South game is coming down to the final 50 seconds. Marcus Mariota has no timeouts. He needs to get in field goal range. He's up towards midfield, but the clock will continue to wind. Tennessee can't stop it.
First down, Titans. If you can run a play here, you know what defense the Colts are going to be in, so you can get them.
Quickly spikes it.
Empty backfield for Lamar Jackson. They need 11 yards. He's going for much more than that. Jackson dropped it right in the breadbasket.
He's right here. He's going to run a takeoff in the slot. One-on-one matchup. Lamar likes the matchup. Gives him. That's the lowest percentage throw in football, and he's able to complete.
If you don't pick up the first, spiking it becomes a problem.
Now pass complete. A.J. Brown. Going to be about 1.5 yards short of the first down. Gethers on the tackle, and that clock is moving.
You've got to run a play here. If you spike it, it's 4th down.
They do indeed spike it. And now they're going to rely on Mariota to try to convert a 4th down.
See, to me, you just run a quick play.
Okay, so the Green Bay Packers with the lead in the football after the touchdown on 3rd down, trying to work the clock, throw underneath. A couple of Vikings are there to stop him about 1 or 2 yards shy of the first down. Minnesota's defense does its job. Minnesota's offense is getting the football back, needing a touchdown.
You can pick it up, and you still have the issue of clocking it because time's running out.
4th and 2, Mariota's pass on the cross, incomplete. Through the hands of Brown. It was Quincy Wilson on the coverage.
And that is going to do it. The Indianapolis Colts will pull off the victory in Nashville, meaning everyone in the AFC South will have at least 1 loss 2 weeks into the season. Okay, this game is just going to be a couple of runs here, and we're going to the 2-minute warning in just a moment. Let's see Minnesota, who is trailing in a 1-possession game at Lambeau Field. And Kirk Cousins almost threw an interception. We can go full now to Lambeau Field as Kirk Cousins needs a touchdown to take the lead.
Number 23 working against Adam Thielen. Pushing up the field and then back out, runs it perfect for him, and then Adam Thielen turns into the defender but undercuts and can't make the play. Jair Alexander's going to be upset with himself. He should have had that one.
Third and 7. Cousins, the throw incomplete. It's fourth down. Thielen the target again, and Cousins looks rattled.
Well, the Buffalo Bills extended back to a 14-point lead, so desperation time for Eli Manning. Taking a shot deep downfield, a lot of Bills there, and one of them catches it.
5-yard line.
Eli Manning with 2 interceptions on the day and 202 yards passing. Looks like the Buffalo Bills are going to win the state championship of New York and start their season 2-0 with 2 road victories. The interception was Jordan Poyer, by the way.
And then this happened. Mike Hilton comes in, hurries the handoff to Chris Carson from Russell Wilson. Devin Bush picks it up, takes it down to the 1-yard line, and then Mason Rudolph with the touchdown to Vance McDonald made this a 2-point football game. But Seattle right now, 2nd down and 7, trying to run out this clock. And interestingly there, Mike Tomlin decided to take a timeout before the 2-minute warning. Try to save some time here.
Play clock now at 3. 2nd down and 7. As Wilson will run again. There is a flag. Wilson picks up another first down to the Steelers' 30, but we'll check with the referee, Carl Chefferts. It's a hold. It's against Seattle.
Oh, that's what they didn't need to happen.
Number 77, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
And obviously you were expecting Seattle to try to run the football here and use that clock, but they're continuing to drop back, and Posick, 70 right there, holding on Cam Hayward. But you have to like the confidence that Schottenheimer is putting in his quarterback. Russell Wilson is the best player on this football team. When it comes to crunch time, he wants it in his best player's hand. He's giving him the opportunity to do that right now.
2nd down and 18. The handoff to Penny. Penny to the 48-yard line.
Okay, so that run there stops the clock at 2:11. The Steelers just used a timeout on the plus side of the 2-minute warning. They do. The first of the late window games is underway. Oakland hosting Kansas City. Derek Carrier from Derek Carr on a 25-yard pickup. This is the first possession of the game in what likely will be the last NFL game for the foreseeable future, with a dirt infield on the grass field. The next time the Raiders play a home game is after baseball season. So dirt infield, we can say goodbye after today. It's the only stadium that still has that incorporated, with the Oakland A's playing. And even if the A's win the World Series in 7 games, the Raiders' next home game is not until after baseball is completely over. The 68-year-old birthday boy takes a look down the sideline, needing a first down here to help them run the clock out in Pittsburgh.
On that last 3rd down. Here we go, 3rd and 16. Pittsburgh just needs to keep this ball in front of them, give themselves a chance here. They haven't been tackling great all day. Let's see what they got.
Play clock winds all the way down. Seahawks got the snap away just in the nick of time. As Wilson looks to run for the first down, he slides, and it will depend on where he is marked down. It's where he first makes contact. He is short by about 1.5 yards. So we are now under 2 minutes. We have hit the 2-minute warning.
The 2-minute warning.
Russell Wilson slid head first. We got an update on the Ravens. A first down here ices the game, and it's a first down. Mark Ingram puts the finishing touches on a Ravens win. They can go victory formation. The Ravens start the season 2-0.
You good? 319. 319.
Aaron Jones cuts back to the middle. He's got a first down. Gets up to the 35, and the clock runs.
Packers trying to work the clock towards the 2-minute warning. Still first quarter here in the Chiefs-Raiders game. Derek Carr, another flip up top. Ty Williams with a catch, 19-yard gain. Carr is working the left side of the field on this opening possession. It'll be a fun one between the Raiders and the Chiefs in the AFC West, it would appear. Near red zone opportunity for Oakland in the opening couple minutes of the game. Okay, most of the games now have gone final in the early window. Baltimore is just hitting triple zeros here. We can update you. The Lions held on to beat the Chargers. The Patriots blew out and shut out the Miami Dolphins. You've got the 49ers beating the Bengals to start their season 2-0. Dallas is 2-0 with a 10-point win over Washington. And this game here, a play or two before the 2-minute warning.
But after the 13-yard run, Jones again stays in bounds. He's over 100 rush yards. Third career 100-plus game. And the Vikings, after using one of their timeouts, will let this go to the 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning at Lambeau Field. We come back to Chucky looking at his offense working into the red zone on their first drive of the game.
Regular season win in the victory over the Broncos Monday night. 2nd and 3. Jacobs again. He dives low for the marker. Spotted about a half-yard short. Still right at the feet of Anthony Hitchens.
And Anthony Hitchens is really, in this system, he made a great play there, scraping over the top and making the tackle short of the first down, but this is a big-time player in this system. He's got to get everyone lined up, talk, communicate, change the play. Now you see the big Raiders front with the extra lineman out there.
And Parker, the extra.
This is it. 4th and 1. Seattle has the offense on. They're just trying to draw off Pittsburgh, it would appear. Okay, yep. Seahawks, we're not going to run the play there, I don't believe, as Pete Carroll
So if the Seahawks
let the clock go down.
First down, they would be able to wind the clock almost all the way down to zeros. But if they are stopped, Steelers get the ball back with just under 2 minutes remaining, trailing by 2.
We talk a lot about cat and mouse between coordinators.
Okay, 3rd and 1 for the Raiders. Here's what they decided to do. Tried to play some man ball, but Kansas City's defense stiffens. The defensive line gets them on the ground. And that'll bring out the field goal unit. We will show you that for the Raiders momentarily.
This Pittsburgh defense needs to be wary of the hard count and not get drawn off sides.
On 4th down and 1, it is Carson, and he will pick up a Seahawks first down to the 31-yard line.
And that's putting all your trust in your offensive line. Early in this football game, they were getting dominated by.
He's hit 17 of his 18 attempts as a Raider since joining them last season during the season. 28-yard attempt. And the kick is good. Money. Go to break, remembering the great Eddie.
Steelers have the 1 timeout. So the Seahawks will be able to run the clock almost all the way down. They wait until the play clock hits 1. Now the snap. And with 1:14 remaining, the timeout taken by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pete Carroll on his 68th birthday. Our game summary: Ben Roethlisberger has not played in the second half. Injured during the first half. Russell Wilson hits 200 career touchdown passes. Mason Rudolph in relief of Roethlisberger. First 2 TD passes of his career. A couple of Seattle turnovers.
Well, it's only one more kneel down for the Seattle Seahawks, who are going to improve to 2-0 on the season. Pittsburgh is going to drop to 0-2, and next week, Pittsburgh is at 2-0 San Francisco.
Extremely warm weather, unseasonably warm in Southern California. Something to look for in that game. Gutsy call, throwing and completing for the first down.
I love the call. I like it on second down instead of third down. Don't wait for it. Yeah, and again, the way that Aaron throws the ball off of all the different positions is just amazing.
19.
Vikings only have one timeout remaining.
One final knee from Russell Wilson. Our State Farm game break is coming up, and then America's Game of the Week. Most of you will see the Saints and the Rams. The Seahawks go to 2-0 for the first time since their Super Bowl season.
Appear to be on their way. Rodgers 22 out of 34, just over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Cousins 13 out of 31, 213 yards, 2 interceptions and a lost fumble. Cook has had a tremendous day for the Vikings, as Jones has for Green Bay on the ground. Welcome those of you that are just tuning in with Daryl Johnston, Laura Oakman, Chris Myers. The story here, Green Bay out to a 21-0 start. Vikings rally, but the Green Bay defense intercepting Kirk Cousins when he had a chance on a 1st and goal on 1st down. 3 takeaways by Green Bay's defense, and the clock running out on the Vikings. The winner of this game will be alone atop the NFC North Division. No timeouts for the Vikings on 3rd and 7. Jamal Williams, bigger back, comes into the game. And it'll be 4th down, but the clock will run. And you see the difference between the play clock and the game clock. And at that point, Green Bay will line up and use a timeout. Aaron Rodgers orchestrating things. Minnesota may get their hands on the football.
My guess is Green Bay will take a timeout right before the play clock expires. Travis Kelce on a 1st down catch for Kansas City. We love to watch Pat Mahomes and these guys work.
Kelce just a matchup nightmare, and you can see.
And there is Cousins frustrated.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Now in the National Football League.
Yes, he is.
And every week he comes out here and just makes it look easy.
Had 12 catches on this field last December for 168 and a couple of touchdowns. 1st down from the 37. Mahomes well protected and launching it deep. And that was over the head. Sammy Watkins with Conley on the coverage and a marker down.
Well, Joyner got very physical at the line of scrimmage here, which I actually think is the only way to beat the Chiefs, but that might have been a little too physical.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 29. 5-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
When I saw Patrick unload the deep pass, I was expecting it might be Hardman that was chasing after it, but it was Watkins the intended target. And you see Joyner on the hold, Tony.
Yeah, just holding them the whole way up the field. I mean,
here at Lambeau.
All right, 5 seconds remain. What are you going to do? Is this the old just let him scramble around and then throw it high and out of bounds here? What are we doing? We'll see what the Vikings offense can do. Rodgers, yeah, he's coaching on the sidelines. Last play, we would assume, at Lambeau Field between the division rivals.
Only 3 up front. He needs more than a Hail Mary. He might need a full of grace. They're going to try the lateral. Thielen to Diggs. He's going to flip it back. And the Packers have wrapped this up. Tramon Williams rolls up.
Have now gone final. 1 game is active in 5 minutes. 2 more games kicking off in the late window.
Former 1st rounder drafted by the Cleveland Browns. And you see for Fisher.
You see the Raiders all up there, Jim? They're pressing you tight. Teams don't like to do this because you can give up big plays. But if you get your hands on it, gives your pass rush a chance to get there.
Here's the 3rd and 9. And whistle.